And indeed, it's good to be here. Good evening, Liberia. Good evening, Liberians. There are too many things we see at times in life. There are too many things we do at times in life. Either some of the things are good, help us in the future, or some of the things are bad, may harm us in the future. But do what you believe in, no matter what the world say about you. Do what you believe in. No matter how they criticize you, do what you believe in. What you believe in is what you need to do. Good evening, Liberia. Good evening, Liberians. All parts of the world, you're joining us. We want to say welcome to the program Issues of Today, right here on Voice of Liberia 104.1, coming to you live from Capital Bypass in Monrovia. And I want to say to you, success is like a train. It has several coaches, like discipline, hard work, concentration, skills, luck. But leading them all is the engine called self-confidence. You need to have self-confidence within yourself. Don't mind what people will say about you. Oh, the man are good. Oh, the man can do this. Oh, why I say he's doing this? In fact, he has no character to do this. You have yours. Live with it. Do yours. And let me do mine. Good evening, Liberia. Welcome to the program Issues of Today, right here on Voice of Liberia 104.1. My name is Sekou Sharif. And indeed, today's edition of the program promises to be great. As a matter of fact, we're going to be talking about lots of issues, national concerns, and also deep into some other important issues. If you're just joining us, invite someone to listen. As a matter of fact, today's edition of the program, you don't want to miss it, as we're going to have our prime guest, in person of Ambassador Louis Brown will be our prime guest today on the program. We're going to have 2 hours of discussion talking about the issues. So he's going to be here. He's going to be our guest. And we're going to be moving on, talking about the issues that matter. And you don't want to miss it. And you also don't want to have it, you don't want to touch the dial. And you always want to listen. Welcome to the program. If you're just joining us, invite someone to listen, to also share the live as well. We're live on 104.1. We're also live on our online television, Voice of Liberia, VOL TV. We're also live on our online radio on www.voiceofliberiaonline.com. You can also watch us on YouTube. Go on YouTube and you just type in Voice of Liberia on various platforms. You will get us, and we're crystal clear. You can join us from all parts of the world. You can form part of what we do here in Liberia. We cut across, reaching other countries. We want to say thank you, and we want to encourage you to continue to listen. But let me just give you the lineup shortly. We'll go to our international decks. Our international correspondents will give us our international updates. After that process, we come back. Then we give you the lineup of what we're going to be doing on the show today. Our guest will be Ambassador Louis Brown. Ambassador Louis Brown is the head of Team Cummins 2023. He thinks he sees that Cummins is the best person to lead his country come 2023. And so he's been preferring the idea, and they've got some upcoming, some people call it rally. They call it rally. Some other people call it protest. And so he will tell us more about it, how the people, how are they prepared, partisans of the Alternative National Congress and other people he talked about. And we'll talk about a wide range of issues. But before then, we're also at 6:30 this evening. We will go and talk about what transpired this morning at the Ministry of Justice, infringing on the rights of us as journalists and the media institution. It's not the first time. We'll talk about that issue. Let's go to our international correspondents to join in on the program. The very first play we're going to have stop is going to be in Nigeria. Do we have? Okay, we're going to go to Ghana. Let's talk to Jonas Biarubi. Jonah, join us now on the program from Ghana on the program here. There's this report coming from Ghana that the Abuja Kaduna train operation has resumed operation after 251 days of suspension. Jonas joins on the line now from Accra, Ghana. Jonas, good evening.
Well, good evening. Good evening.
It's good to have you this evening on the program from Ghana. Can you tell us more about this development where after 251 days of suspension of the operation of the Abuja Kaduna train operation in that area, it has resumed as per the report we're getting. Tell us more about this.
Seku, I presume there will be a mishap somewhere, because this is a Nigeria report and not from Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so in Ghana, the minority in parliament are kicking against the debt restructuring by the government. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, so the minority in parliament are against the debt restructuring scheduled by the government. As a matter of fact, the government has announced that they're going to have a debt restructuring, and those are steps ahead of the IMF bailout. I'm talking about the International Monetary Fund bailout that the government is seeking. So as part of the conditions given by the IMF before they can give the support to the country, they are supposed to be able to come clear with their debt, because the debt accumulated in the country is so high that, if they cannot base on it to give support, because the economy would mean that the economy is not so strong that they can be able to pay back the monies the IMF will be giving. And so without the debt restructuring is something the government has announced that for all those who have investments and those who bought bonds across, what will happen is that if they are doing the debt restructuring, the only thing that you would get is your principal, the capital that you use to do an investment or to buy a bond outside there. So if, for instance, you bought the bond or made an investment for like 5 years, hoping that you will get some interest on your principal amount, if the debt restructuring is being...
Jonas, why is the minority against something that seemed to be in the interest of the country, particularly the economy, to have a very good, growth in said issue? Why is the minority against such process?
So the issue is that for all those who are into investment are going to lose completely out of their investment, because if the minority allow it to go through, what it will mean is that government takes your money, or all banks that are investment banks takes your money for a particular period, and if you are not lucky, you are not going to get all the interest that you are supposed or eligible to get during a particular period. And even the principal, the money you use to do the event, I'm talking about the bond and the investment, it means that you are going to get it bit by bit instead of in full. So it's two things for all people who bought the bonds and investment. You don't get interest, you won't get the full amount of your principal, and they feel like it will be against the rights of people, because if what will happen is that the economy will not be able to get all the amount and the interest they are supposed to pay to all those people. And that is why the government is announcing the restructuring, and it will be unfair on their part for them to do an investment and will not get full amount of money. Reason why the minority says no, they are not going to buy into that idea, even though it is a condition from the International Monetary Fund for them to give the support to the country.
Thank you very much, Jonas Biarubi, our Ghanaian correspondent, joining us live on the television, on the radio from Ghana. And tonight on the show, we go to Nigeria to talk to Naomi Kombenda. Naomi is going to join us from Nigeria tonight on the program Issues of Today, right here on Voice of Liberia. And this development coming from Nigeria, that about 251 days of suspension of the operations of Abuja Kaduna train in that area. It has resumed. Naomi, join us on the line now to tell us more about this issue. Naomi, can you tell us more about this development? How did it come about?
Okay, thank you very much, Iku, for having me. So in March this year, bandits attacked the passenger train along the Abuja Kaduna route in the north central region of Nigeria, leading to deaths and abductions and injuries of so many passengers. And so the Nigerian Railway Corporation, in the wake of the attack, suspended services of the train operations due to the so many abductions that happened and the deaths that occurred. However, today operations resumed with the first train leaving Rigasa train station in also the northwest region to Abuja by 8 a.m. Nigerian time. And the first train also departed the Idu train station in Abuja to Kaduna State by 9:45 a.m. this morning. Now, report has it though that there was a low turnout of passengers, which was owing largely to the short resumption notice while security presence was on the high. We also have some security operatives that spoke to newsmen, assuring of passengers' safety, while officials of the Nigerian Radio Corporation also re-echoed the same thing. It's back to you, Seku.
Are there any measures put in place by the Nigerian government to prevent future occurrences of what they've experienced?
Um, so before the resumption of the services, the federal government and security agencies put several measures in place to assure and ensure passenger safety. Now, last week, the federal government said passengers on that route must register their phone numbers and national identification numbers at the point of ticket purchase, according to the Nigerian Railway Corporation. Now, identity verification devices will also be used on each train station to trace the route of every passenger who is coming to board that train. And also, the agency also warned that it is dangerous for any Nigerian to use his or her NIN number, that's national identity number, to purchase a ticket for everyone. That is to say that they're trying to protect and save Nigerians from any reoccurrence of such a situation. And on Sunday, just last Sunday, the Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba, ordered a deployment of armed police personnel along that route to also further secure the route and the passengers who may be boarding the train.
Thank you very much, Naomi Kumbinda. She's Voice of Liberia, Nigerian correspondent on from Nigeria. Tonight on the program, we go to Tanzania to talk to Lumbando, who's going to tell us about this issue and this development from Tanzania, where Tanzania president has cancelled a celebration to the country's 61 Independence Day and directed the funds earmarked for the event to be used to construct schools and some other issues in the country. Joining us is our Tanzania correspondent. Good evening and thank you for joining us.
Evening, Secure. How about you, brother?
Yes, we're doing great. It's good to have you. Why have these decisions been made by the president?
Of course, that is true that President Xavier Sulu Hassan has canceled celebration to make the country's 61 Independence Day and expected to be held in 9th December each year, and instead directed the fund and marked for the event to be used to construct school dormitories for kids with special needs. A statement which released by the Minister of State's Prime Minister's Office, Police Coordination and Parliament Affair, Mr. George Simba Chawene today, and he said that the reason behind is that the 960 million budget should be used to construct a dormitory for 8 primary schools in Tanzania. And he said that the celebration of 61 years of the independence of mainland Tanzania this year will be held through various debates and conference that will be held in a district in the country to discuss where it will be preceded by various schedules for regional and district leaders to do social activities such as cleaning the areas of the hospitals, schools, home for the areas and cope with the special needs. That is the reason behind.
What do politicians, other stakeholders, what have they been able to say concerning the decision by the president?
Of course, I have spoken to a political analyst from Zanzibar, Abdul Malik Atik, and he said that what the government is doing is for most of our interests. But also, if you see until the government makes such decision, then you should know that it is an agreement of both parties. Tanzania mainland and Eastland, where Zanzibar is. So he went further and said this section, sections usually use a large amount of money, which according to financial experts, if they are divided into smaller projects, then they will generate many projects for the government to be benefited from the uh, decision made by the government.
Thank you very much, Lombando from Tanzania on the program. Tonight, issues of today, we're going to go to Lesotho now to talk to our Lesotho correspondent, the man Poloko. Poloko is our Lesotho correspondent. The government of Lesotho owns more than 1 billion to suppliers, finance and development planning minister admitted on Monday in Parliament. Poloko is Voice of Liberia, Lesotho correspondent. He joins us on the program. Poloko, good evening and thank you for joining us.
Good evening, Sekuho, and thank you for having me.
Now, why does the government have such a huge debt, and when did it start?
I think I'll start with that. The first one, the government started dates for a few years back. I think from 2016, between 2016 and 17. The fact of the matter is that the government of Lesotho normally, like many governments or government parastatals, it secures the services from suppliers, and then people have to send their invoices. But when it is time to pay up, they are always sent back and forth that the money is not yet ready. The successive ministers of finance and development have also cried for about this, that the government currently does not have any money, because a lot of money was spent maybe on what you could say government has been very reckless on with spending money.
How does this impact suppliers in Lesotho?
It it impacts them very badly, because some business had to shut down or retrench staff because of this. I can make an example in during the COVID-19 pandemic. A lot of hotels which were used to as quarantine places had to be shut down because government could not pay for their services, and also some staff members were retrenched. So it impacts them very badly because businesses suffer because of this. Many businesses even today are still suffering because of this.
Um, you want to tell us about the measures being put in place by the government to reduce its debt?
Okay, the Minister of Finance and Development told the Parliament that government is making strides to ensure that the all suppliers are paid before the end of the financial year, which will end in March 2023. However, it is going to be quite tricky for government to do that, because at the moment the current government has not even made its own budget. It has not made its own budget plan or financial plan, because it was formed after the budget speech had already been tabled, or elections were recently in October. So the major effect that what we have at the moment is only the minister's word or the prime minister's word that they are going to pay the suppliers, but there is no written document that shows that how is the plan going to be.
Thank you very much, Polo Cole from Lesotho on the program tonight. And that's how we call it a day on our international update. I want to say thank you to all of our international correspondents. Tomorrow, bringing more international updates on the program, going across the world, talking to our international correspondents, is what we do here at Voice of Liberia. My name is Seku, and we will shortly be joined by our co-pilot, the man Fendela Patrick. Fendela, we will need to join us. He will join us shortly. But let me just start the ball rolling. At 7 tonight, our guest will be Ambassador Louis Brown II, and he's the head Team Cummins 2023. He's going to be our guest here on the program. But before then, I want to say something, and I hope my producer will do this. It was some part of this year, I think a few months ago, when the president of the Republic of Liberia, when we had a time, we paid a visit at Freeport, the storage areas of rice in our country. And during that conversation or interview, for a better word, Mr. President said, and we're going to play you that clip. Mr. President said, there will be no increment in the price of rice. Meaning, the government could do everything to keep the price of rice stable to where it has been, or maybe below. Let me play you this thing before I can say something first. I want to play. Let me play you this. You're listening to President Weah, and let me play you this.
We start with these people. We said that rice price will never go up. It will stay the same because this is our staple food. So I'm here today to verify, because I listened to Mr. Sherry just yesterday at my office. I listened to so many journalists, and what they were saying is contrary to what we see here. So what we need to do is to give the rightful information to the public. And then this is what we're doing. This is our country. If anything happens in the country, all will be vulnerable. So when press are giving misinformation.
Okay. Now you listen to the president. That is the direct statement that came from the president. And by that time, the president was referring to me, that he listened, and we were discussing about that. But let me make this clear first, and then before I can move ahead. You see, the current issue of rice, oil and gas, and other, commodities that we don't have for ourselves. We don't produce them. We depend on some other countries. They are being determined as per the international price. And so government or governments are not determining the price or prices so easily. This is not as unique to Liberia to say that we have a high price, the rice price has gone up. I'm not doing PRO here for the government, but I will say something. I want to set the business like this to show you the weakness of most of the people in the government. And so this issue about rice, if you go to Sierra Leone, before we could come on the air, I talked to all of our international correspondents, particularly the ones that are in, the African countries. And I was trying to find out from them, what is it like in terms of the prices of rice in the various countries? And I got to understand that Liberia has been the cheapest in terms of, selling rice. But here's the part. And yes, where always most of the people in government, they continue to make a mistake for themselves. Knowing fully well that rice is Liberia staple food. Liberians, once they don't eat rice, they think that they've not eaten. Most of the people. We're in December. You come in December, Mr. President, you promised the people that there will be no, let me put it in simple English so that the people hear, they will not carry the rice price up. If for any reason, and I asked, and I've spoken to some rice importers, and they were clear. They said no matter what it is, they will carry the price up because what the government promised to do, the levy they're supposed to give them, they are not. So at the end of the day, they themselves are making business. So what the importers were doing, they were taking the rice from Liberia to neighbor Sierra Leone, Guinea, because the prices there, they are as high as the way they are in terms of making them to get the profits. Marwin Dix, Commerce Minister, one of the persons that is desperately performing, and I continue to say demand a proximity to the president, and so they don't care. How did you reach this point? Right? In fact, lack of proper information to the Liberian people as to said adjustment has not been made. And one old man I used to buy her rent 1,500, for example, and she wakes up in the morning and go ask for rest, they go say 2,000. Do you know what you've done for her? You've caused more problem for her than good. And these are some of the things that people can vote against people for, and the people will be right. You might not be doing it with a bad intent. This thing about the rice price going up is not unique to Liberia. All countries have been faced with it. But the way in which you handle and get the information to the public or to the citizenry, that becomes the major thing that is what the Commerce Ministry has failed to do. You just go read one paper, you release it, you don't care. Because you're not feeling the pinch of what the people are going through. But when she doesn't feed it, if she feels these things, she won't do these kinds of things. If you could inform the Liberian people, we are having engagements with the rice importers, but there are recommendations, and the government is looking through it. The panel has been set up. We will do this and everything. Let's agree that you people agree, looking at all factors, looking at it from the business end, looking at it from the government end. You've come up with an idea. Let the people be informed properly before you start to institute and demand the people to live up to that thing. Abruptly, you just took a decision because you are not the direct victim of your decision. And you will listen. We'll send our reporters out tomorrow. You listen to some people, they will tell you how they are frustrated. You hear them. No, it's not saying that, the government should not. Like I continue to say, this is not unique to Liberia. But the manner and form in which you handle the issue, it makes that issue to be good or bad. And this is the minister that has continued to perform desperately, but it seems to be she has done nothing wrong. It seems to be that she has done nothing wrong. You come, the rice price, wake up, want some money, people just see, press release. How we know? You not even get a second thought as a minister how you can communicate to the people. You think that everybody can afford? Information sharing is very important in everything we do. But the people not care. They're in positions. Some of them don't even know how much they sell rice. Some of them don't even think about it. And so they don't care if even today you decide to carry the rice price up, they don't feel it. And this decision will haunt this government. This decision will haunt this government. This decision. I'm not saying the decision is bad though, or they shouldn't have taken the decision, but the manner informed the decision, that they not inform the people adequately so that they can be informed that this is the situation, that's the problem, and it will haunt the government. Let's draw my co-pilot. It will haunt the government. You don't take a decision like that. You don't do things. You don't care for the people you govern. How the people think, how they feel. You don't care. Fendela, good evening, my brother.
Good evening, Sekou Sharif and the great people in Radio Land. I want to say good afternoon, good evening. I'm talking about our brothers in the diaspora. Some of them put in their hours. They are just, trying to manage, get their earpiece on. But you got to be careful now, because when they catch you, they'll carry for safekeeping. So let me say good evening to you guys and those in Liberia. I want to say good evening. And Sekou, I'm very happy to be on the platform this evening. And I don't know whether you talk about that, but man, my man, you were super this morning, my man. Yeah, your action at the Ministry of, your action at the Ministry of Justice, it was welcoming. I support that idea. Believe me, my brother, if our president of Liberia will just sign in the executive mansion and be monitoring. Right after he end the show, I'll say, Mr. Minister, why you are not to work at this time? I'll give you plenty support, enough support to do the work. You go soon in the morning until I say go to so and so. In fact, you will have 3 different venues. You go, you lack to this other area, because our minister do not go to work on time.
No, they don't know.
I like the work that you are doing. I mean, remain consistent. I know they try to intimidate you, but no frown of the devil can intimidate God. No matter how the bill go tie his face, it will stay down on Christmas Day, especially if it was brought for that purpose. So I saw that guy, he was worried about his job. I could see the insecurity in him. And that arrogant Solicitor General, he came with no respect. The first thing, you have to talk to the media.
They may play with his stomach.
This is what happened, but I think I appreciate what you are doing. Respect the media. The same media you are running away from today, tomorrow when he wants to hold a press conference, he will call the media, and the media will go there. You can't work like that, but you are doing a very great job. Brother, I applaud you, and you are very, very good. Keep doing that job. In the morning, before they make up their mind, go set up. When they come, let them meet you there. Because these people are paid by our taxpayer money. They're supposed to do the work of the Liberian people. You're supposed to be to work around 8, 9 o'clock. You go to work 9:30, 9:45. You are not there.
Some of them go to work by 12. But you saw the thing today. And like we're shifting. There are things that I observed today at the ministry, and we have some videos here. Fendela will play it again, so the people
play is dirty. Look, brother, look. Imagine where the justice ministry is. Justice by itself is supposed to be clean. Justice is supposed to be clean. neatly dressed,
But this is it.
exceptionally unique. But the
This is it,
Ministry
right?
of Justice, you know what I noticed from what you did
Mm,
today? The
mm.
justice in Liberia has been frozen. Justice
So,
has been frozen and broken into pieces. Just ice. JUSTICE. And now connected. It has broken. It has been frozen and broken into two pieces. We don't have justice. We only have just ice. So when you talk, it will look like water jet roll on their back and they will move and business as usual. Musa
but
Dean office used to be very unique, clean, right opposite the old Central Bank of Liberia.
oh yeah,
His
his private
office
office.
used to be
His
clean.
private office.
His office used to be clean. He goes
When
to
he
government,
was
then
a lawyer for the
he converted the Minister of Justice into a village to make it dirty or dingy. It is an affront where you are dispensing justice and the place is dirty. How can you claim to run a restaurant, for example, and people go eat there and see feces all around the place, or maybe people all around the place? When you go in the barroom, they fly there, whoa, you go in the kitchen, whoa. Will you attract customers? The
But
place
let me say this.
dirty.
Let me say this, Fendela. And today we had a press conference. We wrote the president of Liberia, because this is not the first time the Ministry of
Oh, wow.
Foreign Affairs we experienced the same thing. Up to present, most of our broadcast materials that were damaged, we've not received them up to present. And today again, as I speak to you, where is the medical document? One of my stars got injured. We sent him. He went for treatment, and he's facing severe injury. And
So you know what you do to me? You know what you do to me?
you
Maybe
see the map. I want you to see it. That is.
yeah. I
Mm,
see that. So send me the pictorial evidence. In fact,
mm,
tomorrow I
mm.
might try to reach him and see what I can do. We'll do a complete comprehensive interview. We'll send it to our counterparts in Europe,
So,
United States, and make sure that this is what is happening in Liberia. You know, one thing that people have overlooked in this country, and this is
mm,
what getting public officials in government.
mm,
They tend to believe that journalists are just alone. If
mm.
you see a man behind the microphone, he's not just alone. You don't even know. The media is a fraternity by itself. It's a global institution. Like, I don't want to call name. A few years ago, one of the journalists in Liberia, one of the lawmakers attempted to do something. But today he's not in the legislature. He knows what happened to him. He knows exactly. You don't fight the media. You can disagree with the media. There's a difference between disagreement with the media and fighting the media. The fact that he even attempted seize
Mm.
pressure, in terms of trying to prevent you
But
from
this is what the
that
guys
was
did.
ridiculous.
Fendela. At times, the job, it calls for us being professional. When we arrive at the offices of the Ministry of Justice this morning,
I think it's
and
Ministry of Injustice. I don't think that was
uh,
justice given to you. It's
very
Ministry of
good.
Injustice.
And I intentionally, because usually we can start the broadcast by 8 o'clock.
So you were not to even announce before some people start going to work soon.
No,
In fact,
no,
that
I'm
time will
just.
be changed.
So you know what we did this morning? When we arrived on the scene, and we were confused, and I personally said to my staff, I said, it's like the Ministry of Justice is no longer here. Fendela, you won't believe it.
Oh,
The
you were
place,
arguing, thinking say that was not the Minister of Justice.
thank you, because the play was like a ghost scam. Listen,
Yeah, I could see
now,
from
I
where I
want you
was
to
watching from.
I want you to watch when we started, because what we did, we started from the outside of the ministry, meaning the fence. You see that place, how dirty it is. You got plastic bags, all these things being dropped, as if to say that someone
Forget.
a place. Listen, yo. So when my guys they said, but let's go. This is the Ministry of Justice. And I placed some calls. I asked, I said, the Ministry of Justice has relocated. And they said, no, it remains the same place. So when we started the live, the security guy came and he saw us and he was like happy to even see me in person. Oh, this is Seku. Okay, Seku. We shared our phone and everything. There was no problem. We started the broadcast and we noticed that up to 9 o'clock, moving towards 9:30, you could not even have up to 15 staffs, both local and senior staffs. 15. Ministry of Justice on a Monday. You could not. Imagine when you see the place as if to say, maybe either, that sometimes when some ministries, maybe you go there over the weekend, right? You don't expect people to be there. That's how we noticed. I said, but what's wrong here? When we're doing the broadcast, what we noticed, you had a group of people that were in favor of what we were doing, and you had a group of people that were not in favor of us. So these guys that were in favor of us, they started to give some, important information to our guys. The other guy said, y'all need to go see the other gate being on the side. Y'all see how it looks like. And in fact, y'all need to go see the security booth. Y'all need to go see the bathroom. Fendela, you will not believe it, how the ministry. I want the producer, I want you to, do we have that? I want the people to see the bathroom. The bathroom and Fendela, if you see the bathroom of the Ministry of Justice, yeah. Why our leaders continue to behave this way? What is the problem? What's the problem with people working in government? Is it our society or something that can make you to behave when you get in government? Or what's the problem?
I think one of the problems that they have had in times past is the belief of insensitivity. They become so oblivious, forgetful when they get into public office. They tend to adapt to what they have seen in the public sphere, and they begin to do more than what they made. Brother, I have said this: if you are clean, you go into an environment that is dirty, you will transform that dirty environment into a clean environment to suit your taste. That building has not been painted for almost like 10, 15 years. I don't know whether that has been.
On there. Okay, let's do something, folks. And this is something we want the people to know, and let the people know this today. It is not because we are journalists, meaning we don't have rights. And Fendela, this will be the first time for a media institution, if it has not happened before. We will not let this to go. Because if we allow this go without, following the referral procedure or proper issue, the guys in government will continue to do it. We seek a legal advice. We've written the president of Liberia. We informed them, and we talked to our lawyer, and he advised that we conclude tomorrow. If the need be, we will sue the folks. I know at the end of the day, the court system in our country is not that trustworthy, but we will set precedents. Let the people understand. And like you said, we will work with our international partners.
I needed the evidence. I just needed pictorial evidence, the video, and then we'll do a comprehensive report. I mean, it's a network of 54 media institutions. Somebody will pick it up from there. So you don't have to worry about that. So we have to protect media freedom. And we had the opportunity to watch. It was your right. It's a public facility. Mm-hmm. You did not go in their offices. I heard you saying I'm not going in anybody's office. It's an invasion of privacy. You go there, you stand outside, you're talking. You're not causing anybody. You just want to make sure it is our right. The law says public officials or civil servants should be the word by 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, latest 9 o'clock. So you went there with your media institution. You say, I want to make sure whether the people coming to work on time. That's your right. Why should they stop you? I don't know what happened to that other guy. Why was he behaving?
Play the video. I want you to play the video. Let the producer play the video and see how our camera
attempting, I mean, seizing your
see how they treated. I want you to see how they treated the camera person.
You know, that was look at how you holding the man like this.
Yes, unmuted is muted.
Can you imagine that? How you hold somebody like that? I have no right to hold journalists. This is like, how you pushing the man like this?
Oh yes, that is what happened. You see, and if you see the other area, okay, see how the guy came to take the film from us. Let's play that so that you can watch it as well. For those of you that didn't follow, ask us to leave. Ministry of Justice is a very dirty ministry. Yes, we can say it, we are seeing it, and we can report it. So they asked us to leave. We've come. This is the man. He came to work late, and he's the one closing the door. As if to say, what we're doing here is the wrong thing. You come to work late. Hey, take the phone. Take it. No, take it. Take the phone. Take the phone. Take the phone. Take the phone. Stop taking my phone. Okay, leave it. Let him spoil it. Spoil the phone. Very good. Leave it. Leave it. Very good. Thank you very much. No, leave it. Thank you.
Don't go behind the point. Don't go behind the point. Don't go behind the point. Tell me what's up, please.
Get my phone. Get my phone.
No, but we want a phone.
Get my phone.
We want a phone.
Get my phone.
So we want a phone.
Let's do the
We want a phone. Oh, I want one now. We want a phone. We want a phone. No, we want a phone.
Attack me.
Do the video. We want a phone. No, you can't carry the phone. You can't carry the phone.
Put the Tony on. Put the call in the station. Put it live. Get my phone.
You're still on the radio, yeah.
You're too funny. Why you gotta hold my phone for? Why you gotta hold my phone? Hey, I was still right at broadcast. Now, Fendela, I want you,
No. I wish. Let me say something, right? He came to work late.
Yes.
That's one. They say there's this saying, when you go to work late or when you go to church late, you are not supposed to sing any song. Because it's possible the song you will sing, people already finished singing it. The man met you there. You understand? The man who is not taking pay, he went there, he met you. All he's doing is he wants to monitor as to whether civil servants are going to work on time. The law says you have to be to work by 9 o'clock. Be in your office. Now within the premises of your working environment. Be in your office 9 o'clock. So that means 8 o'clock, you must always be around, or 8:30, you should be around. 9 o'clock, being in the fence. 9:05.
No, 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, this is how it works. Be to office from 8 to 8:45. In that time, you will be able to set up your office, because you don't just go in office and start to work.
Yes, that's true.
You need to prepare things. You got to get things set up, because you just left the office and you came back to the office. You need to set up some things, right? And so you take that time to set up things. By 9 o'clock sharp, if you're a minister, you try to go for documents that you need to sign. You take it from 8 to 9 to proofread some of the documents that is sent to you to sign, which one of them you need to sign. You setting these things. What are the things you're going to do for the day? What you want to achieve for the day? So you're going to do that. By 9 o'clock, you start work. But if you notice, okay, let's show you the bathroom picture. See the bathroom. See the bathroom. We're giving you the bathroom. See how the Ministry of Justice looks like. Look
as the Minister of Justice. This is it, folks. We are here this morning. We've been beaten on. We've been beaten on by the people. This is the Minister of Justice. See the gate of the Minister of Justice. And we will not allow this thing to happen again. When we did it first, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs, they took our phone. But this time around, we will not allow any officials of government to take what belongs to us. They care for some of us to continue to put down.
Got bagging. The only one is out.
Vanilla.
You don't know what you're bagging.
Local, play dirty.
Vanilla, that is the backroom for the local people. Now the minister. The local people. Now the bathroom there.
My man, you know what I can say? You know, Seku, Liberia, we don't respect public utility. And because we don't respect public utility, this is the reason why public officials, they treat public institutions like a dump site. The same people who are keeping that ministry very dirty. If you visit their homes, those homes are clean, they are well taken care of. Your office is your second home. When you leave your home, the next place of comfort, especially if you are a professional person, as in the case of the Minister of Justice, is your office. You go to work dirty. The people who are there, in fact, I was looking at the dress code.
I want you to show Councilor Twan when he came. You see how
I was looking at the dress code. Imagine if you have visitors visiting your area. I'm not saying you have to be very lavish to wear kotsu and no kind of thing, but you can be professionally standardized.
But this is the thing here, right? This is the thing, Fendela. You know, and I want to say this and give credits to them. I can remember we visited the administrative, I mean the what the place name in is it Congotan?
Yeah, Congotan Ministerial Complex.
Ministerial Complex. We visited that place. We did not see any resistance from anyone saying, "Oh no, you can't do this, you can't do that." You have a lot of ministries there and agencies. We visited the executive mansion. Nowhere is more security granted as compared to the executive mansion. We visited that place. We visited MCC. And on that day, when we visited some of the areas, you know what the heads of the various areas did? Imagine when we reached to MCC, you had the mayor of MCC. He was like, you know, going in the office, and we tried to talk. We asked for permission. He accepted us to go in his office. That was the time when I asked him about his child. He did not ask the securities to beat on us. He did not tell the securities to ask us to leave from the to leave from there. We went to the executive mansion. They allow us. We went to all other areas. But Musa Din, who is the Minister of Justice of the Republic of Liberia, one would think that he should know better and don't allow these things to happen. If the Justice Minister can do this or ministry can do this, what becomes of other ministries? Where do you go complain? That's the reason why today, when we're trying to make this issue, I told the guys we cannot complain to Musa Din.
And you know, Sekou, I have a lot of respect for Mr. Musa Din, Councillor Musa Din. I visited his office right opposite the old central bank office. The office is clean. When I visited him, Anthony Williams and I, sometime 2014, very organized. But what I saw today, how dirty and smelling, even though I was not physically present, but I could tell how dingy that place was. Ministry of injustice, because every area that is dirty, where justice is dispensed, and the place is dirty, people are not going to work on time. It suggests that our justice system has been delayed. This is the reason why we don't have justice. The people who are supposed to execute public policies are not going to work on time. Two things you can do. If you don't like the job, resign. The people who are not taking pay, they are the first to be to work. This is the reversal. You are taking pay on time, but you are not to work on time. Those who are the last to take pay, they are the first to go to work. And they are the same one, they are being cajoled. I saw the guy calling someone, he wants to talk to you, this and that. Why these people are mentally enslaved? You are not already taking
that is
pay.
Let's leave it as it is. Tomorrow we're going to take more time.
Congratulations. I just want to say congratulations.
We have our guest already.
I applaud you before the guest comes in. I applaud you. That was significant. I think the Ministry of Justice can do better than what it is doing. You should not present that institution as a Ministry of Injustice. In fact, every month visit, we are in dry season. That place is supposed to be painted. Let it reflect Ministry of Justice, not a Ministry of Injustice. Let it demonstrate that where the justice system is headed or where it is resident in Cinco, when you go for justice to that building, you must have something that you can rely on, that justice spoke in your favor. But as I saw the building today and the bathroom, the pictorial evidence, the video evidence, it speaks more of how we have retrogressed in terms of giving justice to people who really deserve it.
Okay, thank you very much, Fandela. And let me just announce to you, those of you listening to us on our online radio on www.voiceofliberiaonline.com. And also, I want to say something to you. The guests not on the camera here, but the man looking at me. Okay, Ambassador Louis Brown is our prime guest on today's edition of the program. He's the head. Tim Cummins, 2023. He thinks and he feels that the only person can redeem this country is Mr. Cummins. He has been pushing and telling the Liberian people, and they've got a match. Is it a match or gathering or whatsoever? He's going to tell us more about this. I think it is just one of the main things we've thought to invite him so we can talk about it and how he wants the Liberian people to come up, giving us some clear picture about some of the issues they're going to be doing. Okay, so he's here tonight on the program. Like we've been announcing, even though the very first time he promised about some of the issues. Ambassador Brown, good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. This is a beautiful studio. And I don't know if Fandalak is still online. Fandalak,
he's my co-host.
How are you? It's been a long time.
Oh yeah, Mr. Brown, I'm here tonight, and it's a pleasure seeing you too. I'm here and I'm following, and thank you for honoring our invitation.
Thank you, and let me say a big good evening to all your listeners. It's a pleasure to be here, Sekou. You've really. I apologize.
Are you surprised of what you're saying?
I think we had two.
No, I think this is the second.
This is the second.
Yes.
Okay, there was one that I ran into other activities. I apologize for that. I apologize to your guests, but you're doing a good job here. I thank you for this, and I thank you for informing our people. We are in difficult times. Our people need to know what is going on to be able to make the right decision for themselves and for our country. So it's a pleasure to be here, and I pray that God is taking care of all of His people.
Mm. And indeed, I always love people that always seek the presence of Allah. We all call it God, Allah, Jesus, and all these kinds of things. But that is very good. First of all, before we go to the Alternative National Congress, how it has been with you since you left the government circle?
Well, it has been good.
Mm.
I thank God for His many blessings on me and my family. Um, he spared us from many things, accidents and those kinds of things, sicknesses. Many had wished to wake up this morning, did not.
Mm.
So God has been very good to me and my family. And I'm so thankful that He will continue to be good to us. Um, I don't know what you mean by since I left government.
Mhm. Recently, you were in government, and you got recalled. You came back to Liberia, and so I just wanted to know how do you feel being out of
Oh,
government?
oh, if you mean 5 years ago is recently, many would not call that recently. It's if it was
So how
a
you been
month or
faring though?
two ago, then you can say it was recent. No, I've always seen public service
Mm.
as an honorable thing to do for one's country. It's difficult in the country. It's difficult in Liberia when economic situation is not the best. Then people think public service is for self rather than for the public. So I always respect public service. I respect those who are involved in public service. But it doesn't mean we cannot live without government jobs. After I led the government delegation in 2003 to sign the Accra, negotiate and sign a peace agreement, I was asked by the transitional government to serve in that government. And I turned it down respectfully because I wanted a break, a breather. And then I wanted to pursue other things. And so I spent some time going to school at Johns Hopkins University. And then for that entire period, sometimes people just think we've been in government all our lives. No, we haven't. So for a period of 10 years after that, I didn't work in government and I really did not miss it until President Sirleaf asked me to join her second term cabinet, and I did. And 4 years after I did, I went to President Sirleaf to ask her, to tell her thank you for the opportunity, but to also ask her to give me a reprieve and that I wanted to take some time off. And that's when she actually offered me the opportunity to serve at the United Nations.
Okay.
And I accepted. I thought it was a good opportunity to get out there, see the rest of the world, and serve from an international platform. So those who are going around saying we're speaking now because we're looking for jobs, they really don't know
We're
us.
going to reach to that, Ambassador Brown.
Yeah, I
don't
just
want us
wanted to make
jump
that
the
point
gun.
because you asked me about how has it been since you left government.
Let
So
me
it's
just
been more than
announce.
5 years.
Let me just announce to those of you listening. Today interview. We're gonna control it in the way that what you discuss is what you're gonna raise some issues about. We're gonna give you a number now so that you can send in. We want it to be participatory where the public themselves can have a fair share. You don't just want to open the lines, and we're going to give you a number now where you can send in your messages. maybe you have some other questions that you might not have the opportunity to call on the radio. You could send your message, and we will read the message or whatsoever concern. And then when that time, Ambassador Brown will answer some of these things and all of that. You can send your issues, maybe concerns, questions to 0778 501617, 0778 501617. That is only intended for text messages. Don't call. You call that number, we'll not put you on the air. So let's move on. How's the Alternative National Congress? How did you become the head of Tim Cummings?
So Tim Cummings is not the Alternative National Congress.
Okay.
It is not. Tim Cummings is Tim Cummings. It is a coming together of Liberians of all, of many of the parties. I am a member of the National Patriotic Party. I've never left my party. I've never resigned from my party. I just happen to disagree with the choice of leadership that my party entered into a collaboration with. And that's, I just happen to believe that President Weah is not the leader our country deserve at this time. And so I remain a member of the National Patriotic Party. Every leader in my party understands my position, knows my position. And I happen to believe, like those who comprise Tim Cummings, that Alexander Benedict Cummings is the best person under the current circumstances where we find our country and ourselves to help us get out of this difficulty we're in, this deep hole that this administration has dug us into. I think he has the leadership qualities and pedigree to lead our country into unity, into prosperity, into justice, into fairness, into a sense of oneness and shared ownership of a country, which a nation should be despite the various challenges and difficulties we face. So I think this is a leader who will not pass the blame, who will not blame this government when he takes over the mantle of authority, who will take responsibility for his actions and decisions, and who the Liberian people can trust to make the quality of judgment and has the kind of leadership, integrity that is required to move our country forward. So that's why a number of us, including partisans of, I should say, the Unity Party, the LPDP, Dr. Toga McIntosh is a partisan of the LPDP. George Whistler is a partisan of the Unity Party. So we have not left our political parties where people say you cross carpet. We have not done that. But in the best interest of Liberia.
But you're supporting the candidature of the ANC instead of the political parties.
Yes, he happens to be the standard bearer. We've thrown this term and bastardized this term of political leader. I really don't know what it means, but to some parties it means a lot to them. But he is the standard bearer of the Alternative National Congress, but we don't support him because he is.
That seems to be a very big deception on your part and others that joined the fray to do such.
I don't know what you mean by deception. That's a word that's so callously used.
Why you think so?
What is deceptive about that? What is deceptive about choosing who you believe is the best candidate, is the best person for a job?
Why can't you resign from a political party that you think the standard bearer of that party is not as fit to become maybe a president of this country, but you still remain in the political party.
So you see, one of the things, if you many times you sing the Lone Star Forever, right? And you say our national anthem. One of the mistakes, I believe, the political mistakes we make in this country, we try to build political parties at the expense of building a country, building a nation. And so I don't fault you for that perspective. Many hold that view, but that view is wrong. It's unpatriotic. If I am a member of a political party and my conscience tells me, and everything I know about my country tells me, that my partisan is not the best person to lead the country, I have a citizenship duty, a patriotic duty, not to follow you like a herd. What we must build our country is a nation of qualified citizens, not a nation necessarily of partisans. It has always kept our country downward. So patriotism is seeing the wrong, even in a friend, even in a partisan, and saying, no, I can't do this because it will hurt my country. So I am not one of those who play this game that as long as I am a member and as long as it is my party, then I blindly follow. I do not. I follow my conscience. I try to do what is right, and I try to live by the consequences of what is right.
It brings me to a point that...
Quickly, let me just interject. Mr. Brown, permit me to respectfully disagree on that assertion. I want to agree that it's your constitutional responsibility as a Liberian citizen to support whoever you feel has the credentials to lead this country, especially at the level of the presidency. But when disagreements become repetitious, then the issue of integrity comes in. You are known to be a member of the NPP. According to you, you disagree. And I know in the course of this discussion, you will let us know what made you to be in disagreement with the NPP. When you left the NPP, I knew you were part of the National Democratic Coalition, the NDC. And my understanding is that you were a key decision-making body in the NDC. It was a political institution. You also disagree. And you went to the Unity Party. You propagated the philosophy and ideology of the Unity Party. You also disagree. Today, you are now with the ANC. One would think that that is not driven by conviction, especially in this new dispensation where we are trying to follow the footsteps of people. There are thousands of people that believe in you. But the trend of events from the NPP, you disagree with the NPP and you left. Constitutionally, you are right. You came to the NDC, you disagree with the NDC, the National Democratic Coalition. It was that platform that you used to say the president of the Republic of Liberia desecrated the sanctity of the Liberian presidency. And later, you were absorbed within the same regime. You disagree with the NDC. That's why you are not in the NDC.
So then I go to the point because we have a lot of things to go to the point. We have a lot of things.
You came to the NPP. So now moving to the ANC with this explanation that you are giving, that it is your constitutional responsibility. If you think that someone is not right to lead a country, it is your right to decide where you want to go. So my question to you, Mr. Brown, is what legacy are you leaving behind with respect to making decisions? How do you expect a generation that is looking up to you for guidance to behave? Should they follow your track record?
Okay. So
first of all, one of the biggest fallacies of pretentious intellectualism is to try to know someone more than they know themselves. There's no way I know Fandalak more than he knows himself. And so for Fandalak to try to know me and to say things about me more than I know myself when I'm right here, that's pretentious intellectualism. So let me correct you, Fandalak. You all need to stop doing this when you use public airspaces. What was the NDC, the National Democratic Coalition? This was a platform being built before I even got there and embraced the idea to pull the opposition together, because those who started it will tell you, and they rightfully argued, and I agree then, that democracies are not strengthened by the numbers of political parties as opposed to the quality of political parties. So it's not quantity. The NDC was an aspiration to bring up weak opposition political parties under one umbrella to contest the 2011 election. That was the idea. I agreed with the idea. Out of my sworn philosophical belief that, which I just said to you, that our country does not benefit from a mushrooming of political parties. What it must benefit from is the quality of political parties acting in some sort of unison and with some philosophical depth for the purpose of their existence. Most of the political parties exist only around elections, where it is, oh, Louis Brown is running. Then somebody, I support Louis Brown. Or Louis Brown, can he purchases a party? Where your party name? My party name, Redemption for Liberia Party. It's dead, it's dormant, it's wasteful. And then suddenly around election time, Louis Brown he pay maybe 3,000, 2,000, 5,000, and a party is created. That's not who I am. That's not what I do. I am a founding member of the National Patriotic Party. And if Fandala wants to be a bit intellectually honest, he would say that the NPP came to the platform that we have created, the National Democratic Coalition. What is he talking about?
Okay.
So what? No, wait. Let me finish this point. It's these kinds of deliberate deception that goes out into the public space. No, you give him chance to speak. So Sekou, have patience. You want more time?
Allow the guests to be protected. Then you go ahead.
So
we have more issues to talk about.
Yes, but what we must then, we should not allow people to poison.
No, he's also right to ask you, though.
Yes, but you saw his long commentary.
Maybe he wanted to give you a background
and he
of what he wanted to ask you.
his commentary with lies. I'm here. Just simply ask me. So legacy, Fandalak, let me tell you what
would be your legacy.
Can you wait now? Have patience.
Go ahead.
So my legacy in terms of political parties, the things we call political parties in our country, my legacy is that I always put the interest of my country above the interest of a political party. That is the legacy somebody like Fandalak must learn from. When we blindly follow individuals, when we blindly follow the interests of political party, especially at the behest of our nation, especially at, then we end up with something like what we currently have, where many knew, including me, that this was not the best option for our country. And yet we took it and we ended up where we have ended up. That is not patriotism. Now, one of the things I hope young people like Fond du Lac and others will learn is that loyalty first must be to country.
Not to
Yeah,
men.
so
Not
Mr. Brown, let me
to
tell
men,
you, I come,
not to political party. Fond du Lac, you got to
yeah,
waste more now. You asked me about my legacy.
Mr. Brown, Mr.
And
Brown,
that is the legacy I'm
yeah, I
hoping to
set
teach
rules
people
here
like
with
Fond du Lac
respect to.
and Sekou. What we must try to do in our country is look to the best interests of your country. When you say that national allegiance, when you sing your national anthem, it is about a commitment, a patriotic duty to country, not a party discipline. If my party produces an unqualified person, it becomes my duty as a partisan. I sacrifice my country for a party. I will never do that. That is the
Okay, so
legacy,
let's
Fond du
move.
Lac, you need to
Okay,
learn.
let's move.
Yeah,
Fendela, let's
so
move to
quickly,
something. We have too many
Sekou,
things
I
to
come
this.
in.
We have too many things, Fendela. Let's move to this. We have too many things to talk about. Let's talk about your upcoming rally. Why you think Liberians should come up on December 17th? When you have this, the country, things are moving the way things are moving. Like you, I've heard you on many occasions. You think that things are not readily, taking place in the country, and you think the ANC could be having the best solution to solve the problems in this country, and you calling on Liberians to come up on the 17th. You want to tell us more about that?
You keep going back to party.
No, but no matter what you do, ANC will be there.
The CPP, as is currently constituted, comprise the ANC and the Liberty Party. I am not a member of either party. I see the best person for president to lead us out of this difficult situation our country is in is Mr. Alexander Cummings. And so, like Mr. Whistler, like Mr. McIntosh, none of us have left our political parties, and many others, we have come to assist the person we see as the best candidate, the best person to be president here, irrespective of where he may be in polls, irrespective of where his numbers were in 2017. That's patriotism. That's faith. That's belief. We are not doing it because it's easy for him to win. We're not doing it because his numbers were good in 2017. We're doing it because we are convinced and convicted that the difficulty Liberia in, this is the guy to help us. He comes with the pedigree, he comes with the leadership experience, and his life story is one that many Liberians should look to emulate. It's a better example that he can rise from point 4 and what other place name where we have the Pupu factory?
Where?
Fiama. That he can go to demonstration school, that he can go to CWA, Cottington, and rise from there, that his mother can sell Doka Flare, and his father can be a teacher who converted to a priest, like everybody else.
Were you to look
and
at
rise
the story,
from there.
were you to look at the story of Mr. Cummings and President Weah, most of the people want to take the story of President Weah because his story sounds much more, interesting than Mr. Cummings.
I don't worry about interesting.
No, you want to give his story based on that, why people shoot.
No, I'm saying to you that a Liberian like you, who grew up from Point 4, who grew up in Fiama, who grew up in Ken Johnson Road, Jala compound, and went to demonstration. This is not a guy that grew up in the States, grew up right here, went to
like
school
the same
right
with
here.
the president, your best friend.
But it's about performance ultimately. What we're judging the president for is not where he came from. Nobody condemning the president because he grew up in Gibraltar or anywhere else. What we're saying basically is his performance has been dismal. I mean, I was coming here today and somebody sent me a text to say a number of his secret EPS officers abandoned him, I think in Europe or in America. I don't know how true it is, by the way. But Jesus, not one, not two, if the text message I received is true, 8 or 9 officials of the president with close proximity to him have decided that it is enough. Even the president does not keep his dog here.
And personally,
So-
I can say to you, I spoke with the EPS boss, and he said he's not in the know.
Okay, I hope it's not true, because if it were true, it would be embarrassing.
So let's talk about the rally.
So I am saying that I am supporting someone who is not a member of my party. And for me, that's patriotic. That's citizenship duty. And not necessarily partisanship.
Why you want to give us reasons why Liberians should come up on the 17th?
Yes. The first thing is that we have said repeatedly, December 17th, it's not for anyone who's having a good time. I know you will be there, but you will be there as a journalist probably. Because when I walk into this studio, I can see you're not one of those who invite him to the rally. Fandalak will not be here. Likely.
No, he will be in the country by that time.
He will be? That would be nice. I would be happy to see my PA again. But the point I'm making is too many people are suffering in this place. Just too many. I mean, I don't know about you, Sekou, but we're crisscrossing this country. We're talking to Liberians everywhere, including in the CDC, including in the security sector.
What
of
the
country.
citizens are saying to you.
Oh my goodness.
But
the disappointment, the frustration. You who have greater expectation, you have more expectation, you get disappointed the most by not meeting those expectations. So many are so disillusioned, so frustrated, so disappointed. Not just with the performance of the president, but the judgment of the president.
You said Liberians that are suffering.
Yeah.
Right?
Are
you suffering?
A chance.
Mr. Brown, are you suffering?
No, I'm not.
Then you are not to be part of it.
No, but I'm feeling the burden of those who are suffering. And I have a citizenship, patriotic, and constitutional duty placed upon me not to close my eyes. Because if...
The meaning you are missing
let me make this point. If Dr. Martin Luther King said, if you are healthy and everybody around you is sick, you're not healthy enough. You're not safe. If you can afford a meal and everybody around you hungry, something is wrong. Don't celebrate that you can afford a meal. If you have money and everybody around you broke, you better be careful about people. If you are happy and celebrating and everybody around you sad, you better be concerned and worry about those who cannot. Because ultimately, we are products of our environment. We live in a community. Liberia is a community. That I am not suffering is not a reason not to care for those who are suffering.
So
yes, so Mr. Brown,
let me ask this question. Does that mean that the rally going to bring the solution you think Liberians are in need of?
Yeah, what the rally will bring. After the rally, those who don't have food will not automatically have food.
What's the essence of it?
The rally is not...
or Mr. Cummins going to give people money?
You want me to answer now?
I'm asking
or
you.
You want to be fictitious?
No, not.
Then let me answer the question.
Listen, the reason why I'm asking this question is because it has been discussed as if to say, okay, maybe after the December 17, there will be no problems.
No. We'll still have President Weah. The country will still have too many problems.
Then why can't you wait for the 2023
leaderless.
Elections? Why can't you wait for the 2023 elections?
Let me tell you why.
Will allow Liberians to go and vote.
Can I tell you why now?
You want to tell me?
Can I tell you why?
You want to tell me?
Then you will not cut me off.
Go ahead.
Okay, good. So let me tell you why. Let me give you this example. Perhaps it will give you clarity. When you have a tire and you just keep pumping the air and pressurizing it, if you're not careful, if you over pressurize it, it could burst in your face. And sometimes you pray God, it don't burst on you when you're in, what we call no man land, where you can't even find a tire shop to fix it. Look, this place is pressurized. When you talk to ordinary people, the pressure that's on families. Just a couple of weeks, if not days ago, at a place where I used to work, at the Ministry of Information, it was unheard of. People were there demonstrating. Some people were making $40 a month. And they came outside. Did the government hear them? I'm not sure. The woman who's selling her duka flare and fish. The woman who's selling bitter ball and pepper. When she goes home every day and sees her son that she spent the most important time of her life, that she sacrificed to educate out of what she's been able to make in her market table. And she sees her son who has graduated from college but can't find a job and going wayward, following friends now out of frustration and getting on drugs. And she cannot let it out. When the father comes home at the end of the day and stops to him, man, to get charged because he cannot face that reality in his home of coming home with nothing.
Yeah.
And the next day, when a guy tells me his 6-year-old son and his friend left the home, they were looking for them, they live on a beach, and they went into the water. And the distraught mother, managed to find them barely breathing, struggling to breathe, rushed them to the hospital. And because they did not go with money, that they had to call the father. The hospital said no oxygen and people playing around because money was not available. And that the first priority was to register them with money because they didn't have it. The children were there fighting to breathe. And the father who was out had to go to a money changer to credit the money. When he arrived at the hospital finally, the 2 kids were dead. When that guy has no chance to express it, and that mother has no chance to see it.
Mr. Brown, let me hold you there.
But let me finish.
No,
let me
finish.
finish. Then
you are giving a picture as if to say you recently worked in government and you served one of the major positions within government as the Minister of Information. Are you saying to Liberians during the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf administration, some of the things you just mentioned, like people did not die because of these things?
And this is the biggest problem this
No,
government
it is not the
has.
problem.
But can I finish? And you ask me how to listen? Why you don't listen to my answer?
Go ahead.
We can talk over each other.
You need to go ahead and we need to ask you.
So, yes. So, one of the biggest problems of this government, they never take responsibility. So, okay, so let's go to J.J. Roberts to find out what, because, so it happened under Ellen. So it's supposed to happen under We Are. Then it's supposed to happen under Cummings. Then Cummings' excuse is that it happened under We Are. Then We Are excuse is that it happened under Ellen. Then Ellen excuse is that it happened under Taylor. Then Taylor excuse is that it happened until we get to J.J. Roberts.
But you are standing as if to say this has never existed even during your administration.
Look, I don't know where you live, but the hard time that people suffering in this town, all across the country, by the way, all across the country, the things people living through and going through, son. I'm sorry to call you.
No, go ahead.
Son.
No problem.
The things people living through and going through. We think.
Mr. Brown, you've not answered the question I asked you.
But I'm answering the question.
But you keep.
Then let's leave it to the audience if you think I've not answered it. Because
so let me come in quickly. Let me come in.
No, but I need to. Guys, I can't talk cross.
Go ahead.
I will listen to you, Fandalak, shortly. But what people need to do This government needs to stop, and some of you in the press need to help them stop doing. It's passing responsibility. The president today is President George Manneh Weah. He was not
history
elected.
Is important to all we do.
Yeah.
You accept that, right?
What is a history that is not important?
I'm asking you now. You said you narrate a very important, story where someone needed help, but they couldn't because of financial issue.
Correct.
And I ask you, didn't what you just explained happen in the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf administration when you served as
Let me tell you some of the things that never happened. People were not making $40.
I want us to be particular about this, your story is.
But tell me a story like that you know. You want me to find a story to tell you? What kind of argument is this?
No, because you want to make a blame, or you want to make a story as if to say all the worst things are happening now. They didn't happen when you people worked in government.
So no, every government.
Let me come in quickly.
That I know never happened. Maybe you know it happened. People did not die from smoke inhalation on Broad Street. Two human beings that capable of putting the window down did not die from smoke inhalation on Broad Street. It never. We didn't have this kind of mysterious death. Somebody come from a necklace and fall from their own balcony and collapse and die. We never had these kinds of things.
What about the issue about Harry Greaves?
Do you know something about Harry Greaves that I don't know? Maybe you know. I'm not talking
what do you
about
know
guess.
of the two you just mentioned?
I know that the government said they died from smoke inhalation, and that's why I told you.
And what did your government say when you worked as Minister of Information?
I said it didn't happen under my government that I work in as Minister of Information. So it did not happen. So
let me just come in quickly.
The president will not be you go buy CCTV. You go buy your own CCTV. The people making $40 and you telling them go buy CCTV, you slicing the pay wickedly, you say you harmonizing and you say go buy CCTV. How many person can buy CCTV? It's the insensitivity of the government. It's not that crimes don't happen. It's not that tough times don't happen. But I swear to you, no serious president will be going through, will see what this country going through and take people money and go sit to a World Cup game. No, show me one time that kind of irresponsibility ever happened. That's not prioritizing the concerns of the people. It's not that tough things didn't happen in the country before. How is this government reacting to people going through tough times? The president being in contravention of the travel ordinance. The travel ordinance is you can be out for more than 7 days. How many days the president be out? In fact, to request an extension of his travel, he did it while he was still out. I mean, look.
Yeah, so Mr. Brown, let me just hold you there quickly. I want to have
in Liberia before. We're not saying there was never food shortage or gas shortage or no. We're not saying prices have never fluctuated. One time a high, one time a low. But how has the government responded? Democracy is about the responsiveness of government to their people. The way this government is responding by shifting, somebody story here, armed robbery plenty in the country, where armed robbery were here 2 years, armed robbery were here before. You are in charge now. It is your responsibility. The Liberian people paying you to work for them.
Most of the people think you are not the rightful messenger.
So the rightful messenger need to speak and not be silent. So are you the rightful messenger? Please speak. Then I will not speak. Cowards walking around this town and Louis Brown does not have the moral rectitude. You are a coward. You are useless to this country. If you think you have any moral rectitude or clarity, speak for the people. Then Louis Brown will not speak. If you think Louis Brown should not speak, then speak for the people.
The Ministry of Youth and Sports said they won't give that's SKD, right, for the rally or some other political activities. Have you received the communication from the Ministry of Youth and Sports? If you've done such, what is the next plan of your rally?
There's only one plan. And that plan is to turn out on December 17th. Outside, in the outside space of the Samuel Kanyando Sports Complex. A space that's owned by the people of Liberia. A space that was given to us legally by the Ministry of Youth and Sports, the government agency with the fiduciary responsibility to do so. We inspected it together. We wrote them about it. We went there in person, inspected the facility. They told us we cannot use the inner space, including the actual pitch of the Samuel Kanyado Sports Complex. And they gave us very good reasons why that should not happen. And we agreed. And they sent us an invoice. We fulfill our obligation. We pay more than half of the face value of that invoice. It was 3,500, pay 2,000. And then they gave us a receipt to say you must pay your balance by so and so time. We did a walk-in all before all of this happened. Suddenly, when we announced it, 2 hours later, we got a letter from the Ministry of Youth and Sports. No. We can't give you the outside space of the Samuel Kanyado Sports Complex. After you invoice us, after we did a walkthrough, after you give, but because government officials are there.
They've rescinded their decision.
No, you can't do that to the people.
What will you do?
We will turn out. And we turn out.
Meaning you will do it by all means?
Yes, we will turn out. I don't know what you call all means.
You could be risking the lives of Liberians that you want to protect.
No. Look, this government has a duty to protect the rights to peaceful assembly. We will peacefully assemble. In fact, we call it a rally. It was the government that started calling it protest against the government. We have never said we're protesting against the government. We have said we are giving the Liberian people a chance to let the government hear them. And that's what we're going to do. This is a peaceful assembly. We're not burning tires. We're not wearing military garments. We're not trying to frighten anybody. We're not saying, if you don't do it, then we will do it. No. This is not an attempt, the guy who should be cleaning the city and doing a very poor job at that is suggesting that we're trying to do a riot here to teach them. They're just scared. They are trying to frighten people. No. You need to understand this, because you said, are we going to do this at any cost? What we will do it is only at the cost of peace. We will peacefully assemble. We know this.
Are you going
government
to
has a
petition the
duty.
government or international partners?
The duty to provide for Liberians is one that this government has. The government manages our international relationships. We don't want anybody to say, Louis Brandon, the CPP, they're trying to smear Liberia's international relations. They're going to, no. Whatever is said there, whatever Liberians express there will be, at a later date, submitted to the government for their reaction. We all, as organizers,
so meaning you're going to
duty
speak
to
in
the
the open
government
air.
who would speak in the open space.
But
Because we
maybe-
don't
maybe
want,
it
for
doesn't-
instance, imagine if we were bringing 100,000 people to Capitol Hill, where the executive mansion is and where the Capitol building is. We say we're in Pinsville, and Little Koji thinks
Do you have the capacity to bring that number of people out?
But let's see. What's the basis of anybody being afraid? If we don't have any capacity, then there should be no worry. There should be absolutely no worry. Look, Liberians deserve a right to that space, especially when they follow the rules to acquire it. We're not competing with anybody for that space. Open outside space. We're not even trying to use the bathroom of the stadium. We're not even trying to use the bathroom of the stadium. Open outside space. And you're telling us after we agree, you want to deny us for political reasons. No, you cannot do that. If we were to allow you to do that, and we ourselves decide that we turn away from doing this, then we set the stage for you to just bully our democracy. We can't permit that to happen. So we will assemble. We will walk peacefully, and we expect the government to protect us. We have informed the Ministry of Justice from as soon as we acquire that space, we inform the Ministry of Justice.
And what did the Ministry of Justice say to you?
We await the Ministry of Justice. Normally what happens is the Ministry of Justice review it, then it reply us. Then what happens is we sit together as organizers and work through the various scenarios where people will gather, where people can move, and what protection level the government through the Liberia National Police and all of his other organs, security organs and parastatals will provide the Liberian people the safety and security they need.
Is this thing about maybe Ambassador Bryan and few others that quote unquote being called in the, maybe you might not accept this, but this is what the people are saying, 3 Hebrew brothers, and want to prove something. That's the reason why you want to have this march or whatsoever, because I'm still trying to figure out what is it you want to get at the end of this the march, because I did listen and you said you're not going to present anything to the government.
I did not say that.
You're just going to...
Seko, are you listening?
I'm listening to you.
But then why are you not hearing?
I'm hearing you.
Okay, because I said to you, what the people of Liberia will say on that day, we will compile and present to the government a subsequent.
How will they say it? I want you to give us a clear picture of it.
We mean, how do we say it?
Mm-hmm.
There are groups, there are organizations, there are civil society organizations,
separately.
there are individuals who will speak. And we want people from all stations of Liberian life who are tired of suffering to have a chance to air it. Look, everybody will not speak, but just the turnout of people is speech enough. Free speech is not necessarily what we are doing. Free speech is the ability to act without restraint, the ability to walk peacefully in an assembly. That's part of free speech. So the fact that people will leave their home and let the government see them acting en masse, that is free speech. And that is something the government needs to see. Maybe it will wake them up. Then they will start being wasteful. I'm sure the president after that will not say, y'all give me some more money, let me go for another 2 months. He will not do that because he will see that it's hurting the people. And political parties have a duty to get the government to see. So you say, what is the outcome? The outcome we're seeking is for people to be able to express themselves, for people to be able to draw attention to the fact that things are not okay in the country, and not just to live through it, to labor through this without being able to say it to the government.
Is it that Mr. Cummings is going to be part of that process?
Yes. Mr. Alexander Cummings has indicated that he will be a part of the process as head of the CPP, which is leading this process. Why didn't
Mr. Cummings attend the recently held press conference by you?
Why should he attend?
What's the relevance? Is he in support of what you are doing?
Oh, you're suggesting by not attending, not in support. Of course, I said to you he will attend. How can he attend when he's not in support? But this is also about the people of Liberia. This is about the people of Liberia having a chance. Because look, I know about your community, right? But the community I live in, look, brother, people catching hot in this town. We need to give them a sort of relief valve. Sometimes in your home, if people are just living under too much pressure, sometimes you just give them just the chance to air it out. Is better for all of us in our country. But when people are suffering and they don't have a chance to let it out, that becomes bad for the country. And maybe the president and his officials think everything okay with everybody. But everything is not okay with everybody. And they need to see and hear from those who everything not okay with. Their decisions affecting terribly. And they continue to make the wrong decisions for those people. So imagine, man. Imagine. Seko. We in this. Look, our elections under threat. as we speak, you were at the press conference that I had, and someone asked me, I remember, about voter we will be interfering with voter registration. You asked, what was my response? That you can't even be certain there will be voter registration. You recall that? Do you know that? Do you know that that has been postponed? No. Let's go.
It has been postponed.
There's too much uncertainty, even about our elections.
All of what you are saying, it is just the normal political engagements where you want to show some political strength. You want to say the people are suffering.
I want to say, watch on that day how many will say they tire suffering. You can stop guessing.
So saying it will bring the change you want?
No, but it will give the government a chance to listen.
But there have been a lot of protests in this country.
Well, I don't know about people protest, right?
Huh? On who? Hey man, stop. Go ahead, Ambassador Brown. Yeah, you get me in for. Go ahead, Ambassador Brown. I invited you, right? Anything happens to you, I'm responsible.
Okay.
Listen,
can you just
get
verify?
the manager to get the security, please? Where is my guys? No, I want to say on live, but get the manager to Ambassador Brown. Let's talk. I invited you here, right? I'm on an obligation. If anything happens, it is my institution, and so you don't.
Yeah, but it's also my life.
No, but that's what I'm saying. So
in any case, no. What I'm saying.
And let me just say this, and please, and what I just heard from Desmond, I want to say this. Those of the people listening, I'm going to call the police director now, because if this is totally unfair. Wait, I don't want Ambassador Brown. Go ahead. So please go ahead. I don't think. Go ahead, please.
So what I'm telling
you, nothing will happen.
Well, it's okay. What I'm telling you, I know they're after me. They can go ahead, but
no. But we invited you, though. We are on an obligation. Please, please.
I have to protect my vehicle. One attack.
Calm down.
I mean, you're live on the radio, my man.
Calm down.
Yeah, go ahead, Ambassador Brown.
So what we're dealing with? Somebody wants something.
Yes, lock the door. Go and lock the door. Yes. It's okay. Okay, sorry. Folks, sorry. We want to sincerely apologize for what you are experiencing. Go ahead. Sorry for the disturbance.
I hope they don't damage your place. That's all.
No, this is a country of law. You heard me today. I was talking about what the people did to me at the Ministry of Justice, though, right?
It should be a country of law. And that is why we are, in fact, having this retire suffering rally. Because people are scared to hear from their own citizens they're leading. First, they say we have no moral rectitude, we have no capacity. Fine. So why are you scared? Why are you panicking? If people do not turn out, it's in the government interest, then I mean plenty of people not suffering, right? Then I mean everything okay in the country. And we can all live with that. But if people turn out more than people imagine they would have, then that is a problem for the government.
Let me take you to this issue. There has been this issue coming from the Alternative National Congress. Some folks are disenchanted about you people joining. And it has been alleged that you, along with Madina Wise, Kamala Wise, and the folks of other people, you were being sent by former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf on grounds that she has no confidence in Ambassador Weah any longer. So she has sent you people to go and do things and make comments to be more, listen to where people will say, okay, this is what we can go for and this is what we can do. Is it true that you people were sent by the former president?
That's so disrespectful. Do I look like somebody that somebody can send? I don't know. You guys.
No, we need to ask you.
Yeah, but when people say these things, then they truly don't know us. Then they don't know people. I mean, you say me? I was sent to do what? Do I look like somebody's seku? Even man, if you want to believe that, when you look at me, do I look like somebody? At my age, at my level of experience, I look like somebody who can just be teleguided. By the way, I've started this show by telling you I disagree with my own political party. Do I look like somebody who is a follower? I follow my conscience. I try to do what is right. I will not get it right all the time. No human being is perfect. Many of us can make mistakes, all of us. But I try to live with my conscience and do what I believe my conscience tells me to be right and true for my country. That's all I have. This country is the only country where, and proudly, people call my phone name. Louis Brown. So there is absolutely no mistake about who I am, what I do, and how much people know me. I am so proud to be a Liberian. I have taken on no other citizenship in my life. Not even a refugee status I have taken on in my life. I am so proud. So all I try to do for this country is what is, I believe, to be in the best interest of this country. All my decisions are not in the best interest of a party. It's not in the best interest of any individual. It's in the best interest of a country. Now, I don't know where you're coming from. Medina, we say, Comini, we say. The last time I checked, Comini is a member of the Unity Party. So he's a senator. I don't know, Ambassador Wise was at Mano River Union. I'm talking about his wife. It just returned home. So suddenly, we are supposed, what do you call it? Three Hebrew. Yeah, that's the typical. When people run out of descriptives, when they run out of the capacity to argue against your reasoning, then they just get into name calling. That man, Louis Brown. That man a rebel. Oh, that man a three Hebrew. But I kind of like the three Hebrew brothers. I'm sure they were Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These guys went into the den of fire, right? And they went into the lion's den. And God locked the jaws of and then you calling me. I am so proud to be called a Hebrew. I mean, I've been called many things. It hasn't been Hebrew. Who's my other two Hebrew brothers? It means that God on our side, that even this lion jaw will be locked. They can come threatening. They're doing all kinds of things.
Okay, let me go to the messages because I'm seeing some of the messages coming. Let me see how many messages here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let me read some of the messages. And I'm going to start with this. This one says, good evening, Mr. Brown. You don't think it would be better to use the court system to vent your anger against the Ministry of Youth and Sports and the government in totality than to stage a protest at this time against your fundamental rights, holding all factors constant, that you paid your money as an institution to grant you guys the front of the SKD for your rally, which you were falsely denied. You don't think it will give you more edge over the government at the court than protest that might just be risking the safety of your supporters?
You see, rights must be defended, yes, by the courts, but also by the individual who has that right. If we also sit down and permit our rights to be trampled upon, and we've done it too long in this country. Somebody does wrong, let's go. Government does wrong, that government can be wrong. Look, we will continue to insist. We're not trying to hurt anyone, and no one will be hurt. That foolishness that happened here the other time, peaceful students, that was so cowardly. Students went to the U.S. Embassy July 26, our Independence Day, saying they have no reason to celebrate independence under this government. And this government orchestrated thugs. We've heard nothing about that case. You know, it went to court? We've heard nothing about it. It will not happen here on December 17th. I assure you. What we must not allow ourselves to do is to...
Do you have the capacity to do all you can not to have such to happen.
But the government will
the
have.
government has been clear at the Ministry of Youth and Sports. They said that place will not be used for any political rally.
Look, they need to stop, man. They're just trying to bully and frighten people. It will be used for the purpose that it was paid for. It will be, look, we cannot simply just cowardly fold ourselves when the government does something wrong, when the government tries to infringe and break the law itself. We simply cannot do that. We will turn out, just as I am here to you in the studio, right? With all the threats against me and they hearing my voice on the radio, and they likely try. I just worry about them shutting your system down so nobody can hear me.
No, we're running a legal system here. So,
brother, plenty of people not run legal system. What they don't do, they pop behind you, they go shut it down. When they know they can't attack me physically in the building, they will go shut it down. But in any case, let's hope that when they hear it, they will not do it.
So this is another you want to end.
But yes, and the point I want to make is simply this. Look, do I have the capacity, is the question, to defend everybody going there?
Because the safety of the people matters.
The government has that capacity. That's why we elected them. That's why we elected them.
But the ground in which you want to use the said, they are not allowing you to.
They cannot say that. They will not say that. And they will honor their obligation and duty to us to protect us when we gathered on December 17th. That is a bluff. That's just bluff. What they want to do is to put up this bluster. Look, the kind of security report that coming to me, the threats they put, the night meetings they're having on my name, the things they're planning to do to me, the targets. Look, I am not a coward. Look, I don't run away from the country and never have before I speak. I led a demonstration against the MPFL in the middle of a war with no gun. I've never carried a gun in my life. And I read a statement to President Taylor, who was leader of the MPFA at that time. I am not a coward. I've never been in my life. And this is not trying to impose my will on others or try to show, but I need this government to understand it cannot continue to treat people as they have and claim, oh yeah, people got a right to assemble. Oh yeah, people got a right. Then when the people decide to do, you try to create all these ways of ensuring that it doesn't happen. Not this time. Liberians will peacefully assemble, as is their right. And we will assemble and move and march to that space. And we will gather there peacefully. And the security forces of this country, many of whom are also tired suffering. Who some of them, I'm sure, will now wear uniform that day. When you're off duty, I'm sure you can join.
Okay,
Join
so
us and come. And those who will be on duty will do their duty honorably to protect the people. Because that which happened here on July 26th will never happen here again.
Okay.
Period.
So this person said the ANC had a meeting. In that meeting, sorry, I need to somehow do it right. The ANC had a meeting. In that meeting, Ambassador Louis Brown, you made mention of the April 18 arrest riot and Bacchus Matthew issue. What do you mean about such? So, is it the April 18 issue that you want to bring on that day, or is something to relate people to the arrest riot?
April 18? I don't ever remember the mentioning any date of April 18. What was the significance of April 18? That I would have mentioned it.
The person is saying,
you people had a
meeting. You people had a meeting.
Who that person? Put name to that lie. Put a name to that lie. You see, that's what it'll do. Oh, you get security intelligence. Look, we have open meetings. Open meetings.
Did you make mention of any April issue of
no.
riot?
April 18? Definitely not.
What about Bacchus Matthews?
Bacchus Matthews is a man who stands large in my political training.
So you made mention
most
of him.
Of my. Can I just answer your question now? Mm-hmm. I told you I never made mention of anything called April, and I dare you to call that person name.
So what
that person will not be probably texting you fast and say, don't come on me, don't come on me.
No, I announced the numbers now. So people are sending,
Oh, text with all numbers. No, I never mentioned anything
called April. People are sending their numbers.
Yeah.
I can call the person number two.
No,
Mhm.
I don't want
Go
to.
ahead.
But they lie.
What did you
First
say
of all,
about Bacchus Matthew?
I said that Bacchus Matthews was one of those. In fact, if any one person I look to for
Direction
of my political thinking, it was the late Gabriel Bacchus Matthews. In fact, he first introduced me to Liberian politics, the intricacy and depth of Liberian politics. He literally schooled me in Liberian politics. So I revere him. And I said one of the things I respect about, we used to call him Chairman Matthews, one of the things I respect was that he was a man of peace. That's what many people don't know. Peace, and he was committed to deepening our democracy. That changes in this country must be made by the ballot and not by bullets. And so I was saying it was not an ANC meeting. People need to stop these things. I was saying to the organizing committee that what we are
organizing committee of what?
Of the December 17th. And I was saying to them, what we must continue to do is protect our peace, protect our security, protect our democracy. And therefore, number one, the December 17th must remain peaceful and continue to be peaceful. We must provide that assurance, we must provide that guarantee, and we must act to ensure that it is. Point number two, we must make sure that all dots, all I's are dotted, all T's are properly crossed, so that those who wish to distract us and may wish, I anticipated the government was going to try to distract us. We will not fall for the distraction. We will remain focused on the Liberian people, because this is about the Liberian people, to give them a chance. The third thing I said, that December 17th rally, peaceful rally, is a patriotic duty. And by that I mean, like I said to you here on your air, when people don't have an outlet, when people don't have a chance to express their pent-up feelings and they're just burying it inside, it is not good for the health of our democracy. When people start to cower too easily and be so afraid to speak to their government, it's not good for our democracy. So what we must continue to do is give people a chance. Even if they're living under these difficult, which you are not, difficult circumstances and conditions, give those who are tired of suffering a chance to air it out. It will not solve their suffering immediately, but it's also therapeutic and it's redemptive of our country and its democracy, which all citizens have a duty to try to save.
And someone is saying here, your action, I don't know, and I don't want to say that because I'm not in your party. If you are the one that organized the program where some citizens they believe to be of the global trap pledge that support to the candidature of Mr. Alexander Cummings.
Okay.
So the person is saying that instead of you helping Mr. Cummings, it seems you are creating more embarrassment for Mr. Cummings, where you brought a few group of people to support Mr. Cummings, and of recent, you had the same group, the other people, they came and said they denounced their support to Mr. Cummings, and they were culturally attired than the folks that you brought on board.
You should have sent your journalists. It was such a shame, such a disgrace. I mean,
which one of them?
Why is this government doing this to herself? I mean, this government is doing more harm to itself than Louis Brown will ever do to it.
But
so let me finish. Let me answer you. So critics of Mr. Cummings say he has no constituency. He has, in fact, some say he has no tribe, none whatsoever. The Grebo people spoke on that day. They claimed they were angered by such an accusation, such libelous slander against their son. So they decided, this was by the Grebo people in an enclave that many had up until that time believed was a dominant George Weah CDC enclave. They were shamed by the attendance. It was massive. I'm sure your people covered it. It was massive. You can go back and play it.
So, Mr.
Let me finish now. I told you I got time. So go back and look, Sekou, at the. I didn't say grow people were not there. I didn't say grow people were not there. I didn't say
about
the government-sponsored program. I didn't say they were not dressed in traditional gribble. Come on, stop it, man.
Program?
Stop it.
Did you see any government?
I live here. No. But I live here. And just as they're trying to spy on me and chase me around, I also know what they're doing. It was so elemental. They had their first meeting in Logan Town to plan for that. They went around intimidating people. I don't want to tell you how much they spent. And it was such a disaster. If you look at the recording, they couldn't move from 2-3 feet from where they thought the people were assembled. You should have seen the football field.
And the president said traditionally the people that did the denouncing of the support, they were traditionally attired than yours. Most of the people that said the group of people that supported you, they were in coats.
Coat and lapa is a traditional Grebo attire popularized by President Tubman, but it's a traditional Grebo attire. Coat with lapa. All right. So I don't know what somebody talking about ignorance, right? So maybe they saw somebody with blue and jumping all over the place. Even that was present at that. Okay, people need to go and watch it. And if you look at the scanty people they were able to assemble, they paid to assemble. If you look at that scanty number of people, cover it. Look at the turnout of the Grebos. And now they, again, by themselves angering the people by telling the Grebo people that you did not endorse Alex Cummings. So now the Grebo people may respond. I don't know how they may respond.
So Mr. Cummings
they
could
go to Maryland. They could go to
Ambassador Brown. Mr. Cummings wants to be president just for minute portion, where to say, okay, only the Grebo people he wants to show his, his strength, or he wants to be president for Liberia.
Nobody has said, I want to unite the country more than Alex. And again, it was not Alex who incited the Grebos. It was his critics who said, but where the man constituency? But who know the man? Who behind the man? He can't even win Maryland. He can't even win a Grebo region. And therefore, it was the Grebo people that felt angered by this. And now they're doing it again. You're not talking, you're journalist, you're not paying attention. They went and beat up a pseudo Grebo assembly and said, oh yeah, Grebo people reacting. And fine. When the Grebo people get up again to react, they were accused Cummings of tribalism. Cummings has been even on that day.
So I continue.
Let me finish. Even on that day,
it shows that Mr. Cummings' focus is only on a particular tribe.
No, how can you say that?
But it's why are you not having such an engagement?
I think part of your problem, tribes? You got fixed question in your mind, Sekou. So you're not listening to responses.
No, you can.
But you must roll your question based on responses.
No, you don't tell me how to ask.
No.
The questions.
Because I answered that, and then you keep going back to say, Mr. Cummings want to do Grebo.
Because it has not been clear.
Even on that day, because you're not listening, it's so clear, but you're not listening. On that day, Mr. Cummings, in his statement, go back and play it. He actually said, again, I thank you, members of my tribe. But what we must do is build a country. We must provide for all Liberians the equality in opportunity that all Liberians, irrespective of tribe, deserve. Nobody has talked about uniting this country more than Mr. Alexander Cummings. And nobody has divided this country along party lines, along tribal lines, more than President Weah.
So this person from Cardwell said, when Cummings become president, will there be press freedom or media tolerance looking at the legs of you, Louis Brown, around said government?
What is my record of not having media to probably.
When you
I may
serve
not
as
even
Minister of Information,
yes.
when people talk
You know
about
how many radio stations
protests,
were open?
when people talk about protests and all these things, you
Yeah.
have been very strong on said issue.
No, never against protests. In fact, we have more protests under President Sirleaf than probably at any time in the history of this country. There was a protest almost every day. In fact, protesters got tired. Fandalak Patri, I'm sorry, he's off. In fact, one of the common saying was, "Hey, you say you want protest under the Omar."
Do you see this?
Fandalak Patri? Yes.
Do you remember this?
Correct. Do you see the garment? You see the garment of the CDC person in the picture?
And but you say you accepted protest.
Yes. We were not against
but
the
you
protest.
were strong on some of the things that people did as a Minister of Information.
Strong on what?
Some of your statements towards people that wanted to have protests or allow themselves to be free of some issues.
Let me tell you something. I did. I think this guy was the president of the student union. This boy in exile. What is it? He arrived from exile. I think he was the president of the student union. I was going to cabinet meeting. By the way, Mr. Eugene Nangwe, who is Commissioner of Maritime, is my witness. I was going to cabinet meeting as Minister of Information. When I got to the St. Patrick's, right there, at the time the presidency was in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. When I got to that place, I saw, cars from City Hall, cars turning around, people running all over the place. So I got there, I saw rock oil in the street, I saw police riot squad sitting on the side of the road, people it looked like a typical war zone. Then I saw a police guy sitting on the curb, bleeding. At this time, this guy was 102. A.B. Kroma was 102. I ran into A.B. Kroma. He was there, leading his men trying to, so what's happening? He said the university students are protesting. You could see rocks strewn up all over the place. So I said, but what? He said, we don't know school fee. I said, no. That's part of my constituency. I got down from my car. I did not even go to the cabinet meeting. I got down from my car. Mr. Len Eugene Nangwe walked with me. So I'm giving you, when I talk my own, I don't gossip. I don't guess. I'm telling you the name of individuals living. Mr. Len Eugene Nangwe, Minister of Youth and Sports. He walked with me. We went on the campus of the University of Liberia, where the students were preparing for a second round of rock throwing. And, the usual thing. The soup beginner, because I was one of those who was organized and helped to put student integration movement. So we were opposed to soup on campus, and soup looked like they were leading this effort. So when I walk on campus, no, and of course our government official again, our chief spokesperson of the government, he was very cool. So I marched with them, but they never touched me. We walked from the St. Patrick's Gate of the university. They escorted me. We went all the way to the monument. When I read this, no, that make a sweet money, convince. Oh, no. So the ALSU leadership invited me and Eugene to the ALSU office. We met. We spoke. Guys, what is this about? They said, well, comrade, they're ready to close registration and we can get the money to raise. Gentlemen, this is what it's all about. Yeah. Okay. I will take you all to the president so we can dialogue about this. I'm not afraid of protests.
I listened to you. You said
protests, criticisms. I'm not afraid of those.
You said Mr. Cummings.
But let me finish this story. So I took the student leadership to across the road, and we stopped what could have ended up being something that, because I saw a bleeding police officer, that could have been very difficult.
The government coming for
somebody
dialogue,
to say,
will you accept?
If the government wants to dialogue, but we wrote the Minister of Justice. If the Minister of Justice wants to dialogue, we'll dialogue.
And you're going to
There's nothing
December
wrong
17.
with dialoguing.
With such a dialogue, you will cancel the December 17 rally?
What kind of presumptuous statement is that? Does dialoguing with the government deal with?
But you had a dialogue in the past, like you said, as to address the concerns the people have.
Of course, and therefore, part of the problem with this government is it doesn't dialogue.
So
they try to bully everybody and pretend that nothing wrong.
If they want to dialogue,
if the government wants to dialogue with the people of Liberia, Then this president should come and address the country and say, my people, I took your money. You know,
you
I
want
just miss
you,
say, I am sorry. You don't turn out to these
so you
people.
want a particular, you know?
No. If the government wants to dialogue tomorrow morning, we're available. Fine. But if the government wants to threaten, if the government wants to give us a space and decide that politics will make us to not take the space and we rescind our decision, no.
Mr. Cummings is not noted to be that type of person. He's known to be that peaceful person. Evidence of even the time he was, between ANC and that of the Unity Party. He did not ask his supporters to go at the grounds of the court, and he went there peacefully. He did everything peacefully.
Yes.
Then why are you trying to bring things that could bring of embarrassment to Mr. Cummings himself? Because at the end of the day, people are going to say Mr. Cummings was part of the protest. He protested against this issue.
You might do well to be a spokesperson for Mr. Cummings. Mr. Cummings has ever told you that this is supposed to be embarrassing? I just told you he supports it and he will be in attendance. And then you now figure that is supposed to be embarrassing. When you begin his spokesperson,
because we don't know him to be,
a violent person. Of course. That's why this is a peaceful rally. That's why the government should have comfort that it is peaceful. So where are you coming from characterizing the rally as violent? Why? Because I know where you're coming from.
Why?
The reason is because the government is playing games. The government gives the public a space and then decide that no, you can't come there. And therefore you want to blame the public for trying to go there. So now you're saying, oh, but when you go there, the government told you not to go there, then the government will mete out violence against you. It will not happen. Second, it will not happen.
I don't know this.
This is a peaceful rally. And if you trust the character of Mr. God, by the way, don't forget, when Mr. Cummings was being tried, a number of Liberians decided they were gathering outside the court, not even in the courtyard, in front of the mansion and Capitol building. Do you recall what happened to them? They were brutalized, they were beaten, some were imprisoned, some lost property that they've never been able to recover. So don't tell me about intolerance with
let me ask you this
under this government.
This person testing said Mr. Joseph Kulu from First Street. He says, can you assure the public that any of your family members who are currently in the States, is it true your family members are in the States, will be part of the process?
CDC rhetoric, man. Look, let me tell you something. They will look for all kinds of things.
Do you have your family members here?
Yes, I have family members here. What's wrong with you?
Okay, so
plus, where am I? Where am I talking to you? People need to stop this foolishness. Where
you just need to come and be good.
Yeah, because you're taking all the CDC talking points.
No, yes, your people are sending the messages too.
My people.
But
who you call my people now?
Your people too. They say
who you call my people?
The other question.
But if you know my people and my people here, why are you asking me about
you say CDC people?
Because that's CDC talking point. That's CDC talking point. They got it all over the place. The problem.
So when you bring your family members to form part, is the question the guy is asking.
No, my family members. I speak for myself. My family members who understand their suffering will participate. By the way, somebody said to me today,
you think you
and
answered that question readily?
Well, let me finish. Can I finish? I can't have
I
can't have the kind of interview.
Go ahead.
Hey, man.
No, we need to ask you.
You my host. Don't make this about you. Make this about me.
That's the reason why we're giving you the time and we're asking you.
But you're not. But when you're asking me, I'm trying to answer. Then you want me to answer. Then you just jump.
We want to make some things clear. Go ahead.
Okay. So my family members, children, brothers, sisters who are suffering, right? Who tire suffering, friends will turn out. It's a choice they will make as adults. I have made a choice that I will turn out. First of all, my face, my voice, I'm in your studio. While we're sitting here, they were telling you that people were downstairs trying to harass and disturb and just draw off cue. I never moved. I remain right. By the way, that was my youngest brother. He came to tell me, "Oh, people disturbing that." I said, "Calm down and go back." You were sitting right here, right? I don't get frightened easily. So members of my family who are adults, I don't tell my family member which party to join. I don't tell my family member what decision to make for their life. But I can tell you, I, Louis Garcia Brown II, will be in that protest. I mean, that peaceful rally. And therefore, any member of my family who feels that they are tired of suffering can join. And I believe many of them will join. I got family members that are seditious. I got family members that are in UP. Surprise, surprise. And this is not about UP. This is not about CDC. This is about Liberia. And I'm asking everyone who tired suffering, whether your family, your friend, you know me, you don't know me, you want threaten me, you want kill me, you want frighten me. Once you tired suffering, join this peaceful rally. The government will protect us as it has a duty to do. And the foolishness that happened here the other day on July 26th will not happen. Or when people went to protest against the trial of, the bogus trial of Alex Cummings, and they were beaten and brutalized by the police. It will not happen again. It will not happen.
The Secretary General of the Congress of Democratic Change, he had a,
I told you that's also CDC.
No, he had an engagement.
But go ahead. It gave me a chance to react to them.
In Newtown. And then he made an allegation. He said, during the Taylor's administration, you did some things in the country. He alleged that you play a part to have the current senator of Sino County, Milton Tiaji. He escaped and he named some other people. What role did you play during the Taylor's administration involving Senator Milton Tiaji?
So, one of the things I try not to do is to draw my friends into national controversies. You see, Senator Milton Tiaji, long before he became senator, long before he became superintendent, he was my friend. He still is my friend. Leto Koji should have asked the senator properly. Senator J. Milton Tiaji, we call him J. Mill, would have never told Senator, tell Leto Koji that Louis Brown asked for my head. What, do I look like Pharaoh? Senator Tiaji will testify. I hope he does so publicly. But again, these are kids trying to just propagandize. What they fear is that I have assigned my name and face and voice to a peaceful rally on December 17th. So they're looking for stories. I was best man. That's how close Senator Tiaji and I were and continue to be. Our best man in his wedding. I was best man. Senator Tiaji and I have always had very excellent friendship. In fact, brotherhood and good relations. That's one other lie. I challenge them to say, or I bet any one of them, whatever they have promised Senator Tiaji, they just don't want to give it to him. So they want to use this
action at the time with Gongo.
Complete lie. By the way, some people started misrepresenting what presidential aspirant Councillor Gonglo said at his TRC confirmation. When he called my name and said Louis Brown called me that, Everybody started running all over the place. They play on spoon for almost a week. Oh, that Louis Brown man, he was involved. Tiawan himself, Councillor Gonglo, called back on spoon. He said, that's not true. Louis Brown was not even in the country. Louis Brown and Money Captain were not even in the country when my ordeal happened. How you know? Because when I returned, when we heard about it, I tried to reach out to him from New York to find out what was wrong. Look, just as I don't see myself as pigeonholed into political parties. I don't see myself. There are many seditionists walking around today in leadership of that party who would tell you, even when I was in President Salif's government, I was a friend to them. Many still walking around today will tell you that I was a friend to them. And therefore, I do not abuse power. I do not abandon my friends because of power. I challenge them. And I think that trash he's talking about, J. Milton Tiaje would have never said that. You know what Little Koji should do is to go try to clean the streets. Try to clean Monrovia.
You refer to the mayor as Little Koji.
That's a little boy. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's running all around trying to lie on me and make people scared with my name.
You think he's afraid of you?
He is. He's not just afraid. He's petrified. He's a coward. I know what he's capable of. Don't forget.
But
he is a coward. I know what he's capable of doing.
What he's capable of doing?
Oh, many things.
Like what?
He knows. And he knows that I know.
You know.
Yes, but I don't have to tell you here on air. I know what he's capable of doing.
So it means you are afraid to say it.
I am afraid to say it.
That could be
no.
So.
The only thing I would say,
you cannot. All the things
I know what he's. I know what he's doing.
You say.
I know what he's planning to do, and I'm urging him to stop. Look, all of us pay a high price for this country, and that's why I am here. I am here in my own country by choice. Let me finish now, Sekou, please. Give me a chance. Let me finish. I am in my own country by choice. I have decided that President Weah does not deserve a second term by choice and by the evidence of what I see and by the pain and anguish I see every day in our country, by his poor decision making, by his lack of leadership. That should not mean that a Little Koji will not pay attention to cleaning our streets and our city and decide that he can threaten me. He can lie. He can go about Louis Brown, ask for the head of Milton Tiaje. I asked for the head of my friend and brother.
It said because he had a press conference and he announced that you are having some engagements or discussions as to the upcoming protests. And it came up the next day you had a press conference. Most of your people in the people from Alternative National Congress, they said to us in confidence, that was not a right decision. You took.
So you know,
we have friends.
So they went to you. They went to you for
they
therapy.
Said it was not the right decision.
So they can't speak to me. First of all, say, well, stop it, man. You stop playing these childish games. The kids' game. I am at the headquarters of the CPP every day. Everybody knows one thing about me. I am approachable. Everybody can talk to me. What I announced was a decision, not prompted by Little Koji. What Little Koji to prompt a decision we make? We did not announce it previously because we're still working. First, you got to secure. I told you it's a process. You have to secure venue. Then you have to inform the Justice Ministry.
You had a press conference was the same day you secured the venue?
No. But
when you
secure the venue, which was the next day you're talking about now?
Koji had a press conference today. The next day you announced that.
No, it was just our time to announce. Probably in that meeting, if his intelligence officer has still long in the meeting, would have told him Louis Brown will have a press conference tomorrow to announce this.
Okay, let me go to the line. I have tonight on the program Ambassador Louis Brown. He's the head for Team Cummings 2023. Call us on 0770 907 907 0770 907 907. 0886 907 907 0880 907 907 are the numbers. Let me take this very first person. We'll give you 30 seconds. Hello.
Yeah, good evening to you.
Good evening.
Mr. Sherry, how are you?
Go ahead.
Well, my name is Chuck Biggett Jr., and I join you from Banana Giants Market. You know, my brother, at times, you like the way other people will say, oh, don't look at the messengers, right? Or other people will say, look at the messengers. As for me, the thing what Mr. Brown is saying in studio over there tonight, it's not making sense to many people, I mean, a vast majority, because the reason is very clear. You saying that if you are not suffering, I mean, then stay home, right? Or if you are suffering, then join the protest. That the only message you carry, I think, if because of suffering, then we just have few months to election. We have very few months to election. We can wait and then go through the ballot box. Then we will remove president. We are all.
Okay, thank you. Let me take another person. Hello.
Good evening, Seku.
Good evening. Go ahead.
Good evening, listener. Following the broadcast tonight. Me, Michael is Sherry, and I for you this thing. Let me say thanks for hosting Louis tonight.
Go to the point, please.
Like, you see, the election is coming near. It will go for those guys, after you bring them closer to nothing in their head to be exporting it to all. But you see, what we are going to know that people suffering. About 2 years, you start now, you do the party, says here, if a major minister, or play a game at the
Thank you very much. Let me take another person. Hello.
Good evening, CEO Seku Shari.
Good
evening to veteran Louis Brown. This activist Martin Renner, and I do join this conversation from the Center for Exchange of Intellectual
Property. Go ahead to the point, we beg you.
Yeah, Seku Shari, and it's called Nature. I'm not sure my location. I listen to veteran Louis Brown. Let me commend him for his campaign. Mind you, we agree that his party are serving our society. We agree that in fact there are a lot of lapses in our society, but I have to do one recommendation to Honorable Louis Brown and to those guys that are propagating the message. If you want to protest against this government that in fact we are suffering, I am recommending.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me take this person. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
How you doing? Shetra Kepa calling from District Number 10.
Go ahead.
I want to say thank you to Honorable Brown for his explanation, and thank you for him making the right decision to support Mr. Cummings' presidency. But you behave by you reading our own text message, only the sedition on the messages you are reading. To be real. To be real.
So CDC talking points.
No. And you see the one
message. I've sent it twice. I've sent it 2 times.
You see the messages? You see messages?
Okay, to the issue.
You got to explain.
No, it's okay.
To the issue. We don't need anyone to tell us that we are suffering in Liberia. But man, yesterday.
My man, listen now. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. What you did just now? Let me make it clear. You know, you have to call us there, quite to put people in something. Say, I'm reading CDC messages. So, a writing on the CDCs.
But we still are on the messages and things. You reading it, but all of the messages that you reading, if on our brother.
No. Okay, take it. Let me take another person. I hope you now say I take into those CDCs call. Hello.
Good evening, Seku.
Good evening.
And let me say good evening to the many national following the broadcast. Seku, my name is Mark Doko. Am I live?
Go ahead, you live.
My name is Mark Doko, and I call from the office of the Intellectual Alliance of Liberia. Seku, I mean, it's so laughable and disappointing to listen to a Louis Brown speak the way he spoke. Louis Brown is a recycle field politician who is now seeking relevance at the expense of the Liberian people. Do you think it's about time that you call for protest? If Louis Brown wants to call for protest in our country, there's a man who history.
Thank you. Let's take another person. We can't take long time.
Hello. Good evening.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, this is something calling from Central People. Mr. Brown. Thank you very much. You are saying that we are in a difficult time. It is because you allow in your government of Madam Sally
to bring the 8 p.m. seminar view that is putting you in a suffering. So deliberately, you allow the suffering to come on us. For 25 years, you signed an agreement, and that agreement is giving a bro hard time. Now you are saying we should go in the street to demonstrate. Look for yourself. That right you use it tonight.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's take another person. Hello.
Good evening.
Mm-hmm.
Good evening, Sheku.
Yes.
Yeah, and let me say good evening to Minister Brown. I'm Delaney. I'm Ishmael J. Delaney. You know, whenever I said the same thing to him on private, that whenever Liberian hear the name Louis Brown, the first thing that clicked to anyone's mind, talk about the formation of the MPFL. That tells you that have to do with the dark days of our country. So for a man like Louis Brown to sit on the radio where his children is calling in America, they will not be part of that protest. Then he's telling that those our mother and sisters, children that is struggling to join him in a protest, I think that is pathetic. We need to be serious in this country.
Thank you. Let's take this person. Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good evening, Sheikh. How you doing?
No bad.
Let me say good morning. Good evening to my partisan, my senior partisan from the MPP. Honorable Louis Brown, how you doing? This is Joseph Freeman from the MPP.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you ever so much. Let me appreciate you so much. Because, you know, Seko, Honorable Brown just said, declare, if you know you are suffering, go to the protest. If you know you are not suffering, just stay home. And again, I think you need to protect my senior partisan from the MPP, Seko.
Hey,
people
man,
would
what
say,
we doing now?
Louis, listen now. Somebody
Mama,
said,
when I say
Louis
that
Brown.
anybody come insult our guests, we're not doing it. I won't leave it. Anybody try, I will cut you off. I won't leave it. Hello?
Good evening, Sekou Sharif.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Sekou. I'm Emmanuel M. Tokpa Jr., and I call you this evening to my resident Igbo community.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Sekou, let me say good evening to Ambassador Louis Brown. But then I must express my disappointment with Mr. Louis Brown. Mr. Louis Brown is one person who served as an advisor on the president, former President Taylor. Is it the same Minister Louis Brown who is telling us that his entire suffering? Has Minister Louis Brown ever tested suffering or any of his relatives tested suffering? I want to encourage Sekou.
Mm-hmm.
I think you cut me up. I want to encourage Mr. Louis Brown. Yeah, if you want to get up protestation in the country, please say for your immediate family that are in America, bring them so they can join the protest.
Thank you. Let me take another person here. Hello.
Yeah, good evening, Sekou. How are you?
Mm-hmm.
Sekou, my name is Lawrence Spencer. I am always in Johnsonville Township. Let me say good evening to the ambassador who spoke lengthily. You know, Sekou, the argument running from to another, and the main family will be at the protest. Jovia family will at the protest here 12 years. On Madam Sadi, on the stage here. So you think we stupid in this town?
Hello. Just hold the calls. I'm getting a report from out that I want to see that caption. I want you to put it on the television so that the people that watch it will see it. I want to see it clear. I think I know they say angry what wait. I don't know which one of the angry people. There's a radio station. This is not a government institution where you have angry people will come and do something. There's a private radio station. And I'm just saying this so those of you listening will understand what I'm saying. There's a private radio station and we're not running government stuff where people will be angry. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Good evening.
Yeah, my name is Prince Julie, and I do you from the Borough School Town.
Go ahead.
This evening. Yeah, let me commend you tonight for the topic of discussion. I want to ask Mr. Louis Brown a question.
One.
Yeah, Mr. Brown, what is the benefit of the rally?
Hello?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. I really Peter McCauley. The 7 last basketball calling for district number 9, Monserrato County, member of the National Response and Defense of President George Fanner. We are a la propos defender. Sorry, Sekou. I read the Bible.
Go ahead now.
Yeah, I'm going ahead.
Yeah, that time.
Thank you. And I read the Bible. I saw John the Baptist was preaching the message to the people to repent. And that's why people follow John the Baptist was because you are
Go
the
to the point.
government.
Mama, we got plenty people on the line here.
The point is for Louis Brown to come out telling the Liberians about protestation. I'm not trying to say that Louis Brown is not the first person to come out to the Liberian.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Hello. Good evening.
Good evening, Sekou.
Go ahead.
This is Ismail PT gave me the person on Nima Karen. And I called him a boss tonight. You know, let me tell you, Mr. Louis Brown. When the story they call he started the churches.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Prince Johnson calling from Bagube Avenue. Most of our colleagues calling on the radio asking Louis Brown if his family will be in the rally. But let me say this: when George Weah was using us this gone time, George Weah children or his family was not with us when we were protesting during any time. So if they are asking if Honorable Brown family will be in a protest, then they are getting it wrong. Comes December 17th, I'm coming out with my supporter and we will be part of the rally. Thank you.
Okay. Let me say this again. I'm getting a report from the manager of my station that there's a tension is building out between CPP and CDC supporters. And this is a radio station. I'm saying it and the people are listening. We bring our guests. You cannot come and do things to embarrass us. This is not a government radio station, neither an opposition radio station. This station allows everyone to come and speak. We can have somebody on the radio and people, why must people be fighting? If you want to talk, come and talk yours.
Good evening.
Hello?
Yeah, good evening. This is Nathaniel Kumi according to Congress. Okay, thank you so much. Let me say good evening to my uncle, Louis Brown. Let me say this. I think the other guy just said it, Jenna. During the great job we are town, we protest all around here. And one day, they were so arrogant to be friends. You getting me?
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks.
What's your name?
The name is Renda, and I call from Monrovia.
Renda, you from CDC?
Quickly, Sheriff.
Renda, you from CDC? Call your position now.
You won't call it.
Pressing people about town, you already know where I'm
Yeah,
from.
but call your
But
position.
call it, let the public hear. Don't hide yourself.
No,
I'm Renda to Bayou from Monrovia. This way I call. Everybody that call, they have to call where they
No, Renda, you from CDC?
But it's not here. It's cool.
But call your position and you go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm Renda and I call from CDC in a mile. It's one of the shows that I witnessed and you lost control. You were controlled by Louis Brown and you allowed him to intimidate you. I want you to now realize that it's not part of your DNA. The next year, Federa probably left the show because Federa wasn't even given the chance to come in, and I was there and left the show. The next thing I want to say quickly to Louis Brown, he said, quoting Martin Luther, even in Martin Luther brings his regret to the year you quoted him. He said, if you have it and blah, blah, blah. Shaki Kamara was still here on your watchful eye. Was everybody helped him? You were here, you advised chapter up when students were killed on Universal Laboratory.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Brown. Let's end the show. Yeah. Let's end the show. You just want to say something quick. Let's end the show.
Yeah, I just want to thank your listeners and all your callers. Somebody talk about APM terminal. I just want to clear that.
Okay, I'm told the police is already here. Go ahead.
I just want to clear it up that if there was something wrong with an agreement, what stopped this government from reviewing that agreement and correcting the wrong? You know, nothing. Nothing should stop that from happening. So to sit down here and say, your signed agreement for 12 years that was wrong, but the government has been in power for 5. Why you can correct it? So those are all just childish talking point to give people. They call the station, jam the line, make sure you call Louis Brown. But those are not things that would disturb us. Look, people are suffering in this town, and that is the focus of the rally. If you're not suffering, fine. This rally is not for you. It will be a peaceful rally. All the thing they're doing, threatening, I go to a radio station, they join us out, they put people outside to try to disturb. And when I call somebody, you cost me whole day, you call me all kinds of things. The president went into a church and called me a rebel. Lied on me in the church behind the pulpit, the most sacred place of a church. He lied on me. I don't do anything. But you want to be intolerant. You think you can scare me from saying my views to this country? I pay too high a price. None of them, Leto Koji or even the president himself, they will not scare me. They will hear me.
The final thing is, you still think with all what the Ministry of Youth and Sports said, you will still have
December 17, 2022. Liberians who are tired of suffering will get up early, peacefully, proceed to the assembly point, which is outside the stadium, and we will speak loudly and clearly for the government to hear, for the world to hear. I urge the government to stop this bullying. I urge the government to stop this intimidation and fear tactics. We never called this a protest. It was Leto Koji who decided that this was a protest.
The mayor of, it's a sign of disrespect to his position, though.
Because he's not doing a position.
No, honestly, you won't be the minister of.
Part of his job.
You won't be the minister.
Part of his job is to clean the city.
And people saying, such a word.
It doesn't bother me. No. But let me be clear. All day he moves. That he moves.
Which moves?
To put people outside here to try to intimidate me. I am aware of it. I'm responsible for what I say.
Is he there?
But he's a coward. He will never show up there.
No, but how will you go and say?
That's what cowards do.
No,
they don't show up. They use other people
and make allegations on people who don't have facts.
Sekou.
No, I don't want us to do that.
Sekou.
No, I don't want us to do that.
Okay, but I have done that, and I'm responsible for what I say.
Okay.
I am responsible for what I say. They think they can frighten me out of my own country, or they think they can frighten me out of a peaceful assembly.
Okay.
They will not do it. They cannot do it. And on December 17, 2022, we peacefully assemble.
Thank you very much.
Assemble.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, my name is Sekou.